LaVerde. Now, he is cryptovigilante.io. Crypto Vigilante. Now, the Dollar Vigilante, Jeff Berwick, they kind of work together, and Jeff looks to Rafael as his advisor on when to pull the trigger on certain things. And Rafael, man, he's always excited about what? I don't know, whatever he's excited about. So he's going to go, he's got a new excited about. Now, all right, Rafael, I want to go ahead and we'll get some background here real quick. You know, wait, wrong one. What I wanted to do is, we've known each other for a long time, since the early days of cryptocurrency. We had, like Bitcoin summits, our freedom summits. Involved in, Texas, they were doing a lot of stuff. You're down in Acapulco, but it's always been a blockchain thing for you. And, you're really excited about a lot of the opportunities that cryptocurrency has that was not necessarily in the beginning what the selling point was. In the beginning, it was peer-to-peer value, send, a hash that I get to have this value and I control it, and then you do back and forth, to where you didn't have a third party saying whether you could or couldn't. This was a big thing. Currency, exchange, value, money, spending, that kind of thing was easy to discern what was going to happen. Everybody jumped on board with that. But that was just one of the aspects. There are so many other things that happen when you have the communication for security, and that I wanted to make sure got in there. You got privacy, but you also need publicity. When you have the ability to censor, to delete, to deplatform, to all this other stuff, and then we're starting to see they want to track what you're spending, who you're donating to, what you're giving, support to. This is just so controlling, but Rafael understood early on that there were many other features that we were going to need using blockchain. So he gets excited about a lot of stuff, and we'll talk about some other things that he's worked on. But the main thing, Dero, I was just at Liberty on the Rocks. I emceed an event up in Sedona, Arizona. That was the marrying of the anarchist, libertarian, leave me alone, lonist, voluntarist, Larkin Rose, Ernie Hancock, kind of thing. All right? Well, with whom? In Sedona, you have a lot of spiritually awakened, I'm humming to the sunset of I want peace in the world kind of thing. Well, they're engaged, but from a different perspective, but they're starting to see in the overlap of the real world, here comes zombie apocalypse. So I was very interested in how the two groups melded way better than I anticipated. So there was well over 100 people there in a small conference area, auditorium that they had set up. Very nice Friday night party, had a good time. You had your choice, or carnivore or vegan, of course. And then they went late, and Don and I went to bed. But because we're old people. So then we get up, and we got energy for the whole day of the presentation Saturday. Then Sunday, they wanted to go, find all the vortexes on the rocks of hiking Sedona, of sunrise, sunset kind of stuff. So they did that all Sunday. So everybody got along really well. There was a lot of good sharing of information. At that event, there was a woman that went to the Dero event. She came from UK, I think, and she wanted to make sure that I knew about it. I'm talking to Rafael Monday, okay? That's how cool I am. We're going to find out what's up. So from that, Rafael LaVerde has a background in private equity and venture capital and looking for the next great thing. But what is it that he has in his background that he's always, he discovered Bitcoin in 2012 while volunteering for Ron Paul's presidential campaign. He served as a board member of the Libertarian Super PAC while doing postgraduate work in economics, and was also a member of the University of Texas's Mises Circle. His formal education includes graduate degrees in continental philosophy, whatever the heck that means, and psychology. He has been a Bitcoin miner since 2014. Rafael also managed investor relations for the BitAngels network. I remember that, which helped finance the vast majority of early Bitcoin startups. I remember that. And was also part of the DApps fund team that revolutionized funding structures that eventually became known as ICOs and STOs, initial coin offerings, that kind of thing. He was also the founding partner of what became one of the very first Bitcoin venture capital funds. Now, with this background, he understands you bring new, good value to the community stuff, and people invest in it. People, that's the pump. Is there a dump? Are we building? Are we, what's going on? So this latest Dero, now with that background, you're excited about it. I got lots of questions. All right, give me your elevator speech, man. Tell me everything. What's up with Dero?
Dero is as if the best of privacy coins and Ethereum had a baby. So you have the first proof of work, private by default, smart contract platform. Let's go one step at a time, right? So it uses state-of-the-art cryptography known as homomorphic encryption. It provides you with all the options of a smart contract protocol. And it just gives you a synthesis of options that we've never had before in crypto, where we can actually have, for the first time, real autonomous decentralized organizations. We can also have real censorship-resistant decentralized finance, because remember, the starting point is privacy. So it's something that we're all very excited about because it's so new.
Okay, now wait, let's stop right there. When you say the starting point is privacy, what I need to know is, until it's inconvenient, until it doesn't work, because I've had that many times. It's private, it's anonymous. Then it turns in, it's pseudo-anonymous. And I'm going, so I have to go look up what pseudo means. It means not, So I go, really? You're lying to me? So when you say privacy is the number one, forever and always, this is going to be a privacy communication thing. We need to put in a little open this or they can get to over here to make it work thing. Or is it privacy? Oh my lord, it's privacy. I want you to delve on that a little bit. Go.
So that's a good point. There's been a distinction drawn within crypto between privacy and anonymous, right? Dero is anonymous by default. So yes, it is 100% private by default, through and through.
Which means what? Define that.
It means that every transaction is as private and more private than a Monero transaction. And the smart contract itself, the content of the smart contract itself is private as well.
Okay. Now we're talking about smart contracts. We're saying, all right, we can do a smart contract. Oh, wow, that's cool. It's smart, like a smart house, a smart car, a smartphone, a smart, what do you mean smart? So when you do a smart contract, what we're talking about is that you're able to take a transaction or an agreement, let's say a contract, when all the obligations or have been fulfilled in a contract. This side did this side did that. It's self-executing. But you have to have the agreement of 3 out of 5, 9 out of 9, 2 out of 2. I mean, whatever it is that you put into the contract, that when these 3 of 5 people agree, then it goes. Or there's some other index that triggers it or something. So define smart contract so we know how it can be used.
So it is the ability to put conditions together to bring forth a new type of cooperation that moves beyond just that of voluntary exchange in just the mere aspect of money, right? Arguably, you can say that every crypto transaction is a tiny smart contract. Here you expound it even more, where you can delay of finality of transaction, like you said, in a lapse of time, where conditions have to be met, where you can actually have different forms of assurance contracts. You can create systems of escrow on chain. You can create voting systems. You can create a self-executing and self-learning systems like machine learning and themselves, machine learning systems on chain. Now, the interesting thing here, Ernie, is that this is all happening and being executed on chain. You can have organizations run automatically, automatized on chain as well. We can have different forms of financial instruments also processed on chain. And what's most appealing to me is the idea and the possibility for us to be able to have native blockchain marketplaces that don't need externalities outside of a blockchain, marketplaces where they find their fulfillment within the blockchain itself. And what does this mean? It means that we enter into the blockchain ecosystem and we trade digital assets within the blockchain itself, where every block of time there is proof of reserves. This is the centralized exchange killer. We will never have a Mt. Gox or FTX situation ever happen again, because we are now building on chain. What happened in FTX comes from the fact that we were in a situation where we were trusting bureaucrats for security. And now we don't need to do that. We trust mathematics, and every block of time we have proof of reserves. Now, ain't that beautiful? We don't need those external elements anymore.
Okay.
It's all on chain.
I see what you're saying, but let's go ahead and explain it. Well, okay. I'm going to try to explain it, okay? So that I can, repeat this to the audience. This is what I'm going to say as I understand it. Then you got to correct me where I'm wrong so I'm not a blithering idiot, okay? So here we go. When you want to exchange peer-to-peer a Bitcoin transaction, it goes from a wallet to a wallet. That's not an exchange. That's you have it. You have control of the private keys. You're sending it to another wallet. It's going to show up there, and then it's going to have to be confirmed, and that takes time with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it's every 10 minutes on average. You get 6 confirmations an hour, and you're like, forever and always shall it be that. But
right.
You can see it on there to be confirmed. So a lot of times if it's bubblegum money or something, which you can't do with Bitcoin because the transaction fees got stupid. But anyway, so if you want to, do a small transaction, $100 to whatever the heck, you can see it right away and you can give them, okay, I see it. I got it here. Take off. You paid for your meal. You're done. But it's not necessarily that's confirm. So if you're buying a sailboat or something, you might want to wait 40 minutes or something, that kind of thing. Well, that is still there on the blockchain. It's just being confirmed. When you do an exchange, if you're going through Binance or CoinDesk or something like that, you are you're going up and you're using that exchange to make the transaction. Well, you put your Bitcoin on their exchange. They're the ones that have it.
Correct. It's
like a bank.
You're depending on an external entity, the exchange itself. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a bank. It's your money. You just can't have it now. Okay.
Correct. So, that is what we call the Wall Streetization of crypto, right? Where they will sell you the cryptocurrency, but they're hypocrites because they themselves are not using the blockchain technology itself. And that's how they come in and manipulate the space by using crypto as an investment vehicle, as a trading vehicle. But again, they're not using the technology themselves. What we're doing is turning that upside down.
No, I understand. We're going to get to you. I'm going to get you to monologue me. I just need people, like me, or even less, to understand the advancement that you're talking about and what the problem has been. Because when you put your money on an exchange, it's not yours. I mean, it's gone, okay? And we went out of business, and FTX took it, and the government seized it, and. That, when you're on an exchange, it's not really yours. It's kind of like your money in a bank account. So there's a lot of features and it goes faster and there's a lot of benefits to that over a bank, but it has the one major flaw is that it's not in your hands. You're trading paper. So it's and then when they do ETFs, it gets even worse. They're going to do with blockchain. You have gold and silver and now Bitcoin have been turned into paper. It's not yours. It's not gold and silver in your safe, on your bed. You get to roll around in it like McDuck. Ooh, it's my silver, okay? The second you put it on an exchange, it goes away. Now, Dero, what you're talking about is that when you can do exchanges, but the exchange is done on the blockchain, so it's not like they have it and then they decide if you get to use it or not. So explain that nuance right there, how Dero has the exchange, the transaction on the blockchain, and it prevents it from not being yours to use. Explain that.
Correct. So we saw this capability in Bitcoin itself, with a technology that started this called partially signed Bitcoin transactions. In BTC ordinals, we saw this take off, and now BTC ordinals is over 60% of all BTC transactions. Okay, great. There is also other ways of having an on-chain exchange where you don't necessitate both parties, both buyer and seller, to come in at the same time for every single exchange. To have an open order book where you have constant bidding of buying and selling, you need liquidity. And to have also, for that, you need what they call automatic market makers, which are also possible. These are technologies, Ernie, these are technologies that have been possible since Satoshi gave us the white paper, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is that a lot of people are just now starting to discover them, and that they're possible. So what now happens is that now we have the ability to have an order book on chain, meaning that you can have the same experience that you have in an FTX, but have it on chain. The difference is that, again, like Ernie said, you control your coin that you're putting up for to trade. Now, very important here, guys, is that when we talk about an on-chain exchange, we are not just talking about the native cryptocurrency itself, be it Dero or Bitcoin. We're also talking about all types of digital assets that are native to that blockchain themselves. Amongst these native assets, we can have all sorts of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, that represent even the work of and the time that someone is selling of their work or discipline to the market, art, music, but also artifacts. And in Dero, there is a NFA, the non-fungible assets, that allows you to do that. Now, when we begin to embrace this world of on-chain exchanging, we can actually have cryptocurrency from other blockchains traded within a native on-chain exchange. How does that happen? It happens by having that cryptocurrency, be it Bitcoin or Ethereum, wrapped within Dero, within a Dero smart contract, within a wrapped Dero token that trades that BTC within the on-chain exchange. Again, what Ernie said is very important. It's the fact that we no longer have to trust a third party to hold our funds, and we no longer have to wait for some sort of bureaucratic proof of reserves. Proof of reserves shows up every block of time. FTX was the I think the nail in the coffin to all centralized exchanges. Since then, we've seen an emergence in an on-chain economy. We've seen BTC ordinals take off and bring about a convergence of the smartest and brightest of minds across all of crypto into BTC ordinals, to the point that now BTC, the blockchain, is arguably the biggest digital asset exchange in the world, because there is more BTC, there's more cryptocurrency liquidity that is in potential there within BTC than you would find in Binance or in Coinbase. So we are already in the on-chain world. For everyone that's listening to this, let me explain how this works, right? This dynamic works a little better, right? We have the old fiat economy that moves pretty slow in comparison to crypto, to the point that we've said that 1 month of crypto development equals to a whole year of fiat world development. In like manner, 1 month of the on-chain development is equivalent to 1 year of the crypto development. The on-chain economy world is moving extremely fast, and this is why I'm here talking to you right now, Ernie, because it's important for your audience to know what's happening. So think of the movie Inception. You know how they had a dream within a dream?
Right.
Well, now we're talking about crypto within crypto. And what is it really that's revolutionary here? Shouldn't really be revolutionary. It's just that people are finally waking up to one critical aspect, which is actually using cryptocurrency, the technology itself. And I know that sounds funny, odd, but it's true.
It's just because you have to be able to define it in such. Let me go ahead and make an attempt and tell me how far off I am.
Sure, yeah.
What Rafael has been doing from the beginning, when you started trading Bitcoin and it was peer-to-peer, they didn't even have smartphone wallets. It was, you had laptops and you had this code thing, and a lot of these super geeks understood it. And we did a lot of shows. Explain this to me. I can understand what was happening, but when they started doing lightning networks and going off-chain and creating kind of mini exchanges, or you have your own pool of reserves to do whatever, and I go, I know what that is. That's a bank. You might as well just say bank.
Yes, so correct. Yes,
those were wanting to shoehorn the legacy banking system into crypto. That's what was going on, and any development on it, anybody at BTC, anybody the venture capital, the guys with the shiny ties going to the crypto seminars and summits and conferences and everything, go over to the 8 to dozen average age of 21, 17, 16 to 25-year-old kids in the corner with their $8,000 laptops, pounding away, sitting on the floor with their knees crossed. They would go over, and I'd talk to them, and I'd pass them out, pirate books and kind of, man, they're going to be tapping on you. You see these guys? Here they come. They're over there. They're coming over. Here he's eyeballing you. You made eye contact. Here he comes. They want to hire you. They're going to give you a white picket fence, a BMW, and all the hookers you need. And they want you to develop it the way they want to. And I go, you're going to go down that road, and forever will it dominate your path. Don't be a moron, okay? At least leave us a backdoor of freedom of something, and it's going to be decentralization. Well, what you're talking about, for people to understand, their only real purpose of government is the protection of individual rights. That's it. And one of the best ways that they can demonstrate that they have any kind of value or use to the public is the county recorder. You go to the county recorder and you file your document for your car, your marriage, your house, your mortgage, your whatever the hell. The county recorder. All right, we got information right here that says Fred owns this, whatever it is. Boom, done. If you have a worldwide ledger, they don't care if you paid for it in Bitcoin or Ethereum or, marbles or sand or what, it doesn't matter. They're just recording the document. How it was transferred or who, for $10 and other considerations. I mean, I've seen, big giant high rises go for $10. And other considerations, whatever the hell that was. So this is, you need a blockchain to record it, can have everything. So then you become the world's recorder. You don't have county, state, nation. You got a blockchain that has all transactions in whatever currency you did. Tiddlywinks, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. So that ledger, that agreed to, cryptographically proven, whatever, becomes a standard by which then governments start doing, corporations start using, individuals start using as validation for going to court. Well, then you got to have states, it just eventually has to be better, faster, more accurate, but garbage in, garbage out. I mean, you got guys going around in developing countries and saying, we just logged your land on the blockchain and said it was ours, not yours. Let's sucks to be you. So then you got other issues, But that's one thing that I can see that we're going to have to worry about. But the actual transaction of who has and owns what and what they paid for it and how is just confirmation, which triggers a smart contract. Yes, this happened, therefore that is done. Now it is transferred over to here. That's the smartness of it. Once you fill in some requirements of it, it triggers. Now, I'll finish with this one example so that everybody understands. When Bitcoin Cash was going on and so on, you had, about that time, to show that you could use it, was purse.io. Purse.io was, I get a wish list of all the things I want on Amazon. I put that up there, in the wish list there, and I say, all right, I want a 15% discount on this. People that got paid in Amazon money doing coding around data entry or whatever around the world, they didn't get paid anything but Amazon money. Well, they wanted to use their Amazon to get cash or something to go pay their rent. So they would do at a discount, for you buying the stuff. They had a Prime Amazon account. They would get your stuff, send it to you. You would get it when you received it, or 24 hours after it said that you received it, it would finish the transaction. They would get the Bitcoin because it was kind of in escrow. How? Why? Who? Well, Purse. So this comparison to Purse, is it automatically released and it does the smart contract, or is there a Dero Purse.io kind of, thing that they got to push the button or it approves?
Well, Dero's a very new protocol that was on testnet for like 5 years. It launched like a year and a half ago. And again, before that, it was on testnet for like 5 years. It's very new technology, something that we're very excited about because it's the first proof of work, smart contract, private by default protocol. So it's one of a kind. And a lot of these things are being built out right now, Ernie. One of the highlights of
answer that one question. Was I wrong?
Sure.
That you're trying to be a one-all ledger recorder for the world of all transactions?
Yes, correct, yes. But the starting point for Dero is the privacy, the anonymity, the sovereignty of the individual. And that is something that I think is very valuable and something very, very needed in the world.
Absolutely, it's going to be.
So yes, so you're correct. Now, does that mean that what Satoshi gave us, which is a transparent blockchain, does it make that obsolete? No, I think there are use cases for having a public library of Alexandria that you can't burn. And that to me is what Bitcoin is. But we do need this moon to the Bitcoin sun, which is private by default, that allows you to do smart contracts. So it's funny you mentioned the Lightning Network because it's dead. I don't know if you've noticed that.
It was dead from the beginning.
But it's really funny what's happening with people, actual programmers of the Lightning Network rage quitting, calling it a scam, saying that this will never work, saying that that it is completely broken and something that will never be fixed, which puts the crypto space in a very interesting position because the entire reason why we had this Bitcoin civil war was because the small blockers said that Bitcoin needed a layered approach to scaling, meaning that Bitcoin needed to not scale its on-chain aptitudes and capabilities, but rather that it needed to cripple them and rely on externalities that they called layered scaling.
Yeah, they wanted to create a bank. They wanted to create a level. They wanted to create a work job program for ex-bankers or something. They were taking away the very aspect that was avoiding that very exact thing, and the people that were screaming for, off-chain third-party solution of kind of, a circle jerk of, Walmart people or something, that they had their own bank account on there and spent it in. It was like a company store. And I go, I can see what they were doing. It was fundamentally, from the beginning, the wrong way to go. It was exactly what we were trying to avoid, to eliminate. So when you looked at it, you could see, just sketching it out, that they created these reserves of money that could be geographic, or it could be just Pizza Hut, or it could be whatever the heck. You had to run this lightning node. You kind of ran the node for the bank to be supporters of a bank, as opposed to the decentralized support of a network that supported everybody. It was like a closed system. And then it got a little bit more and more controls, and this was faster than that one. Guy going, I can see what this is. It's a freaking bank system. You know? So then you would settle on chain all these transactions that were off chain. Then, whenever they felt like it, or you close that, then it would go on chain and sell everything, which opened up all kinds of manipulation and fraud and bulk selling, buying, doing. I'm going, it's a bank. Stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. And so they are freaking out right now, but they're not being loud about it because, again, they spend over 8 years, hundreds of millions of dollars, all of Wall Street and big tech behind them, with them literally leading us into a civil war under the pretense of layered scaling. And lo and behold, everything that Ernie has been saying is true. And now it's considered dead. It literally died this past week. But they're not saying anything because they have to watch, have to take care of their own bags. The BTC people are taking care of their own bags. So they're being very quiet about this, right? What's happening is that now BTC became the only way for BTC to scale now is to embrace a big blocker approach to scaling. The approach to scaling that Bitcoiners like myself adhere to. And so that's why now all of a sudden they said, oh my God, Bitcoin, we just discovered, this was 2 weeks ago, we just discovered that Bitcoin is Turing complete. I'm like, wait a minute, you're not going to gaslight history here, because in 2015, a man by the name of Dr. Craig Stephen Wright was involved in a panel discussion along with Trace Mayer, Nick Szabo, and a bunch of other people that they called the All-Star Panel. And during that conversation in 2015, Craig Wright said something that no one had ever said before. He said, guys, Bitcoin is Turing complete. And he explained how the looping can happen within Bitcoin transactions themselves. Nick Szabo, who's considered a god to a lot of these small blockers, told Craig Wright to go write a paper about it, and that is in other words, they laughed at him. They laughed at Craig Wright. In 2023, as the Lightning Network was declared dead by its biggest developers, literally, because this is what has happened the past couple weeks, all of a sudden, a developer by the name of Robin Linus, who is more of he's more on the theoretical side, wrote a white paper for an implementation called BitVM, for Bitcoin Virtual Machine. In that white paper, he states that they discovered that Bitcoin is Turing complete. Like, wait a minute. No. We've been, like, renegade Bitcoiners like myself have been working on
what's
Bitcoin
the word you're
Turing
saying?
completeness.
What complete? Turing?
Turing complete.
Turing.
After Alan Turing, the inventor of the computer.
Yeah, but I mean, Turing complete. What's the definition of that?
So Turing completeness means, all right, so the formal and like the textbook definition is the ability to compute an infinite number. No one in this world and no computer will ever be able to compute an infinite number. The word infinite is a concept, but in our lived experience and within the scarcity of our life in this world, we're never going to be able to compute an infinite number. We can compute, however, huge ass numbers through computers. So it is the discovery that Bitcoin itself, that the Bitcoin network itself is a giant computer, where you can compute, you can compute numbers, where you can execute commands as you do on any other computer.
We knew that software.
This was yes, correct. The thing is that when they limited the block size, they also limited the script size, meaning the amount of numbers that you're capable of computing on chain.
Right.
So in BTC, there's a limit of 32 megabytes. renegade Bitcoiners like myself who kept on with everything that Satoshi gave us. And we went into the forbidden place called BSV, which is like the Antarctica of Bitcoin. And we've been playing with Bitcoin Turing completeness for over 5 years. So when they bring out this white paper saying that they discovered that Bitcoin's Turing complete, I get a text message saying, hey, Raf, do you think your friend Xiaowei Lu, who's the leader of Scrypt, Scrypt.io, would be gregarious enough, would be kind enough to teach the main dev in BTC Turing completeness, Super Testnet, that's his name, Super, about how to do this, you know? I took that as an opportunity and I interviewed them both at the same time. They're on the Crypto Vigilante channel on YouTube. Watch that interview. In my opinion, it's the most important interview in Bitcoin history up to today, where I bring in both from BTC and BSV, the top guys that work with Bitcoin's computational power, the bit aspect of Bitcoin. And guess what happens? During that interview, Super Testnet admits that his inspiration for BitVM, which is the BTC implementation of Turing completeness, comes from Scrypt, from Xiaowei Lu, from BSV. So the small blocker narrative died. It was murdered, Ernie. BTC, that whole notion of digital gold is dead. The only option that they have as a network is to mirror, to copy what BSV has been doing. This is why this is a very interesting thing that not a lot of people know, but I'm going to let you know. When BTC ordinals came out, it was run, and it to this day still run. The vast majority of the on-chain marketplaces that I explained to you at the beginning of this interview, the vast majority of these on-chain marketplaces are ran by BSV entrepreneurs who were, yes, they went into Bitcoin's computational power behind the forbidden walls of the Antarctica that is BSV. And when Casey Rodomore opened up the door to start arbitraging data in the form of ordinals on BTC, they came into BTC. BTC is like the metropolis of crypto. A lot of money, a lot of people there. And they started creating the on-chain marketplaces, the first ones, ordinals wallets, OrdSwap, Unisat, the main ones. And they run the show there pretty much now. So BSV people run the show and are in charge of arbitraging over 61% of all BTC transactions. On top of that, BTC's only form of scaling now is to copy BSV in the form of Turing completeness. At the same time, the Lightning Network, by its own developers, is dead. You guys can go to my Twitter at Vamos Vigilante, and you can see for yourself everything how I've been making fun of the ridiculousness that is the Lightning Network and what they're finally admitting to the world. And number four, and very important, Ernie, which we need to talk about right here, right now. It's the fact that Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman of ChatGPT and OpenAI, and Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, are teaming up with 32 of the top big tech companies to sue Dr. Craig Stephen Wright under the pretense that these megalomaniac big tech tyrants are libertarians that care about the free and open source software ethos. I don't buy that. I don't agree with that. I don't buy that.
Whoa.
I'm dropping bombshells today, Ernie. Okay. Get ready.
All right. Well, I'm rock on till you're boring or bored. I mean, I don't care. We can do it all day. But, this is... Craig Wright is the guy that led the fork of BSV, right?
He's one of them, yes.
Okay, so BSV is Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, okay? That was, you had the offshoot. All right, let's go through some history here. So you said a bunch of stuff that people need to understand what the hell that means. Now, up here on the graphic here, it says... BITVM and Script, that's the one that you're talking about, right?
That's the one, yes.
Okay, sorry. People know to go there. You go to cryptovigilante.io, and it's there. What happened was the small, it all started, back from my perspective, on the large block, small block discussion. The reason is because Bitcoin worked great, worked fast, it was cheap, it was like a cent a transaction, and then it went up to, all of a sudden it starts getting popular again. It's $60 a transaction, $30 a transaction. I paid $38 for one transaction. I was like, what the crap? There went my bubblegum money. It's like, Tone Vase is always on my ass going, well, you just want bubblegum. You damn Skippy, I do. That was the whole freaking point.
That's the point.
That I can, I don't want to buy, a 5 cent bubblegum and it cost me $30 to do it. I was just dumb. So where is the other? So the reason is because you have a certain number of transactions that you can do in the block. They limited it to 1 megabyte or whatever it was at the time. So that means, even though it's just text, which means a lot, thousands, tens of thousands, there's a lot of transactions you can do in there. But when you're looking at Visa or American Express or doing billions of transactions, it would take forever to meet that usability for people to go around like they were using Visa or MasterCard or American Express or Discover or something like that. It didn't have the scalability because it limited how many transactions could be in that block, that the proof of work of guessing, it's really, monkeys throwing darts until they get close and hit a band of numbers that all of a sudden, okay, boom, and you claim that block, you win by providing that work to it. By guessing a number, you get the reward of however many Bitcoin is up there, plus transaction fees, whatever. That's how the network works. It's a financial incentive for adding computational power to it to get a reward. That's what drives it. That was the genius of this thing, the proof of work. Now you go, oh, but it uses so much electricity. We're not green, and you're going to, oh my God. Well, you got to compare to make these kind of transactions, how many banks you got to have, how many employees you have to have, how many cars they got to drive to work, how many, the utilities for, the banks and their, blah, blah, blah. Apples and apples here, But the point is that it was legitimate, is that Bitcoin itself in that form, and a bunch of venture capital and money and people came in to do what? You will develop it this way, so saith the money. That came from they, them, those, okay? It's guaranteed. When you start having these guys coming in doing different things and they start paying developers, and they ran Bilderberger as the chair of Bilderberger for 2 years, I'm going, oh, gee, I'm wondering what's going to happen, So,
right on.
So what they did is that was, for me, early on, it was obvious because I wasn't a coder. I wasn't looking at, the intricacies or where I'm going to get my funding or how is it going to work, short term or how, with whatever hardware is available. I'm going, no, like when, Rafael was saying, the first thing was privacy, scalability, transactions that don't cost. You get back to what the fundamental promise was. It's just like, the Constitution. You got the Declaration of Independence, the purpose of government, defend individual rights. Then you get the Constitution. Yeah, but that's kind of inconvenient. And when there's an existential threat to the government, not the people, when, we want to have an army or we want to, what about who will build the roads or whatever excuse they come up with, they violate the original intent. That's what was going on with Bitcoin. So to scale it, they wanted to keep it at 1 megabyte. So you limited how many transactions could never, ever compete with Visa. And that was the point. Because they wanted to have side chains. They wanted to have banks. They wanted to have regulation. They wanted to have control. They wanted to have brick and mortar LLC events of board of directors of some, which was the whole point of what we were trying to get away from. Okay? So then Bitcoin Cash, letter SV, and everybody's doing different things, but Bitcoin Cash in particular, Roger Ver is a champion of this, came out and goes, look, you just increase the block size, and you can increase it quite a bit, and you can get fast transactions, cheap transactions, the same benefits of Bitcoin, and it's just a fork of it, but it's going to have a larger memory pool so that you could have a crap ton more transactions, which is what Bitcoin didn't want. That was their intent, to be able to create a work program for bankers and government. Okay? You could see it from a mile away. but they argue about it because you can't, and you can't, and you can't. Well, LaVerde comes in and says, oh, we can, and we're doing, and here it is. So this is what Bitcoin always could have been, was a record of transactions, a record of land, a record of serial numbers, a record of card, a record. They didn't want that. Sure as hell. Now, they want a one world government, but if you're going to have a one world government, what do you want? You want that entity that they control that can claim your money, that can seize it, that can RICO your property, that can. This is a record that there is no third party. It's between the people that made the transaction, and you have a record of it. How far off am I?
No, you're on it. You're on it. So one of the main things that they did in order to psyop Bitcoiners is that they used libertarian rhetoric, specifically the desire for fungibility, sound digital gold, sound digital cash, because as libertarians, we understood the importance of sound money, and we understand the evil of the central banks. So they tapped that nerve, and a lot of people were psyoped into wanting to turn Bitcoin into a privacy coin. A lot of honest Bitcoiners realized that you will never be able to turn Bitcoin into a true anonymous form of money, a la Monero. So Monero comes out of the Bitcoin civil wars as an answer of honest libertarians who said, I agree with this motivation that we want Bitcoin to be sound money, digital gold, digital cash, but it will never be able to be achieved within the Bitcoin protocol. So these Bitcoiners started Monero. Okay, that's why Monero is so important. Monero is the beginning of that honesty really taking root. There are other Bitcoiners who then ask the question, we agree with the Monero guys, and these Bitcoiners were like myself. We agree with the Monero guys. Indeed, they're correct. To have sound money, sound digital gold, sound digital cash, fungible money, you can't do it on Bitcoin. Therefore, it begs the question, what did Satoshi give us? If Satoshi did not, even though he talked about the possibility of fungible money, then what did he give us?
Fungible. Fungible is divisible. You can put it into 100 millionth, whatever.
Well, fungibility means that within a unit of account, within one unit of exchange is always interchangeable and equal to another unit of exchange. So $1 is always equal $1. A gram of gold is always equal to another gram of gold. Throughout the world, at any time, their worth is the same. Right?
Okay, that's how. And then divisibility is that it can, one half of one is always one half of it, and you can half it. So it has to be divisible, has to be fungible, so that this ounce of gold is equal to that ounce of gold. It's gold. It's an element of whatever. This Bitcoin is that Bitcoin. Okay. And then what was the other one? Oh, yeah, durability.
Durability, transportability as well, yes.
Okay, so then you start to get to where a cryptocurrency, and I want to add this one part so they can understand, is that one of the things that you definitely wanted to have was that it would be, it's recognizable, it's durable, it's fungible, all these things, but crypto, what's its inherent value? What's its intrinsic value? Where's the gold? Where's the commodity? It's worth exactly how much gold and silver you're willing to give up for its features. That's what it's worth. Because I can't internet.
That's a good answer.
I can't internet silver. Okay. So am I willing to give up this much silver to get this so that I can transport it? I see cryptocurrency as my silver transporter. All right. I got silver. I got to go to Uruguay. How am I, wheelbarrowing that down there? Convert it into a crypto, go down there, convert it back into silver, boom. Okay? Right. It is a transfer mechanism for real assets at the very least. So how else are you going to do it? Ship it in a container of going through a bunch of government ports? Yay, you risk that. So this is why it's so important is that the value of what a crypto does is of its features is what gives its intrinsic value, is its features. What's the feature of gold? The feature is that it doesn't change, it doesn't tarnish, it doesn't evaporate. You know, it has its fungibility and scalability, all these abilities, you know. Well, okay, so I like it, but it's heavy. And I got to carry it around with me. And how do I store it and secure it and all this other stuff? Well, Bitcoin has those features that make it valuable. Its intrinsic value is its features, just like it is with gold and silver. They're just different.
Right on.
You know? So what's the intrinsic value of crypto? The amount of gold and silver that I'm willing to give up for its features. Boom.
Correct.
End of story, and it's subjective. Just like gold is subjective.
Correct. But there was one aspect of Bitcoin, half of Bitcoin, which these usual suspects did not want you to adhere to, right? So thus far, Ernie has been describing, and I have been describing, the coin aspect of Bitcoin. And we've talked about its history, and I've told you the emergence of a protocol like Monero that gave you sound digital gold, sound digital cash, because it's private, anonymous by default. Great. Now, then what is Bitcoin, right? This is the question a lot of Bitcoiners like myself have asked. What is it that Satoshi gave us? And during the Civil War, the small blockers that Ernie defined as wanting to turn Bitcoin into a banking apparatus through the Lightning Network, they took away a lot of opcodes, a lot of capabilities that we had within Bitcoin. I call this the bit aspect of Bitcoin, Bitcoin's computational power. Something that even now our rivals at BTC have admitted to existing, and now they're pretending as if they just discovered it. Again, watch the video with Xiaowei Liu and Super Testnet, where I bring in both top developers from both ecosystems, from both blockchains, Bitcoin blockchains, to talk about Bitcoin Turing completeness. So the coin aspect of Bitcoin, yes, it's important, but what they did not want you to know about was Bitcoin's computational power, the bit aspect of Bitcoin. And in the forbidden walls of the BSV Antarctica, renegade Bitcoiners like myself have been experimenting with different aspects of Bitcoin. Ernie, you on your show last year, you had Steven Zeiler and Daniel Krawitz, who worked alongside me to create a new form of communication using Bitcoin mining energy as a form of signaling. Now, that idea has evolved, and I'm here to tell you about that idea. And it has evolved into the form of Hodlocker. Unlike Boost Proof of Work, which is what this idea was called, Hodlocker is going viral. It's going so viral that the CEO and owner of Bitcoin Magazine, the main BTC small blocker publication for the laser eyes, they themselves have also, the CEO has signaled interest in creating one for the BTC ecosystem as well. While I was at Nonsenses in Phoenix just this past week, I shared Hodlocker with the Dero community, and the Dero community themselves are right now working on a Derolocker. Let's get into it. What is it that I'm talking about? It turns out that there are three major discoveries in the history of cryptocurrency. Number one is crypto as money. We've already talked about that. Ernie and I have already explained that. Crypto as money and the many manifestations of crypto as money. Number two is crypto as smart contract. That means crypto as now you're being able to program things on chain so that we can cooperate in many different ways by having different types of contracts, forms of organizing ourselves, and also on-chain marketplaces where we have automatic market makers, and we can have an on-chain exchange where we no longer have to fall prey to the Wall Street lizards that come into crypto that want to sell you the crypto assets as an investment vehicle, but that they themselves will never use the technology itself. So now we're embracing the technology through the smart contract nature inherent within what Satoshi gave us. Okay?
Wait.
And number three, talk to me. Number three is signaling on the internet. And this is where Hodlocker comes in, okay? What does it mean to signal on the internet? This is the anti-AI manipulator. AI, machine learning, are nothing more than noise creating machines. You don't know what's real anymore. A lot of people are saying that these are the last presidential elections this year. Why? Because you're not going to know who to trust 4 years from now. So it's
I didn't know who to trust 20 years ago, so I'm way ahead.
But now let's say the conflict happening against the genocide in Gaza. For all we know, it could have started off with deep fakes using AI, right? But we won't know. Maybe in the future, some whistleblower will let us know that it all started with deep fakes. In a world where you don't know who to trust, and you are, as libertarians, we're just clinging on to the people that we've formed relations with, like Ernie Hancock, Jeff Berwick, Doug Casey.
Principles and philosophy, yeah.
Right? But in moving on the future, who do we trust on the internet? We don't know who to trust. Someone could be psyoping us. And so out of the despair of the Bitcoin civil war, which Ernie described very well, when the suits came in and they psyoped everything happening within Bitcoin, and they changed everything into the grotesque nature of something like FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, we wrestled with trying to figure out how to communicate with honest actors in the market. So we discovered the handicap principle, which comes from nature, which it's the idea that fit males give themselves a handicap to signal to females that their success in nature. Just like you turn around when you see a Lamborghini go in the coffee shop, in the same way, that signals, that catches your attention. And the moment that visceral attention-grabbing phenomenon happens, it begs you to research more. So a handicap in any form, in any way, makes you focus your attention in the same way that Bitcoin mining in 2009 made computer scientists stop what they were doing and ask themselves, what the heck are these crazy computers doing over here that are spending provable waste? They're just burning energy. You know, what's going on here? It caught their attention. Okay. In this world of manipulation, fake news, deep fakes, censorship, shadow banning, and we don't know who to trust, we realized that by using our Bitcoin itself, we can lock up our Bitcoin for a lapse of time behind content on the internet to grab attention of people that we want to signal to. So, Ernie, are you understanding what I'm telling you?
I'm waiting for the punchline is that the signal that what you're doing to get people's attention and to see that there's a possibility of whatever is what? What's the signal?
Costly signals are honest ones. So you, from now on, have to train yourself to look for those who are giving themselves a handicap. Okay, Ernie gives himself a handicap naturally, right? He becomes a target of any tyrannical state organization that does not want you to know the truth, right? So you pay attention to what Ernie has to say, because in his life, he's putting himself out there. He's making himself vulnerable to the attacks of an oppressive government. So it causes you to pay attention. What is he saying?
Because there's a cost.
What does he mean? Now, does it mean that everything Ernie says is true? That's for you to decide. You have to do the research. But the fact that he's putting himself out there, the fact that he's handicapping himself and putting him in the bull,
there is a cost. The cost.
The cost. And so that's why we say costly signals are honest ones. That doesn't mean that what he's saying is completely honest. What it means is that it begs for you as a rational actor to pay attention. You should pay attention to anything in this world that has a handicap, that has a self-inflicted handicap. You pay attention to that signal, and you study that signal. Amongst the noise of the internet, this is the number one weapon that we have against manipulation and against psyops. So what we're going to do is what we're doing in Hodlocker is that we're locking up our Bitcoin behind content that we find important, and we're locking it up for however many Bitcoin we want, for however long we want, to signal to other people within the Bitcoin network that what I'm saying here, what I'm supporting, this idea, whatever this idea is important for the network. Okay? Now, can people come in and try to psyop this form of social media? Sure. I want them to. You know why? Because by them buying BSV and locking it up behind content that would, in a sense, psyop and hurt BSV, they're actually taking BSV out of circulation and pumping the price up.
Okay, let's go ahead. I want to look at Hodlocker here with the people so we can see what's up.
Yeah, go to hodlocker.com. Yes.
Okay, so I got Hodlocker here. You know, I'm going, and what am I looking at? Is this a wallet?
No, that's a skin into the blockchain. So you're looking into the Bitcoin blockchain right now, and the BSV blockchain. Why don't you go to trending? Go to trending. Actually, better yet, why don't you go to top, so you see the top most voted for things in the past 24 hours. And people are voting by giving up their opportunity costs and their optionality on their Bitcoin.
You know, I want to make a point. Credibility is the currency of the future. It's going to be, who do you believe? When you're in an ocean of BS, you know, truth has value. You know, where is that? Where's that going to be? And we see, you know, Freedom's Phoenix has been shadow banned, whatever banned, search banned. I mean, we're all kinds of banned. And I didn't care. You know, we had our own subscribers. We try and keep that list clean. People can communicate. They get the email dispatch. So, Ernie, you could be so much bigger if you'd go on this platform, this platform, this platform. And we keep looking. I'm going, look, are they decentralized? Can you delete me? If you can, then I'm not interested. I need to have the credibility of the future. Just a second. So when I look at this and you say we got Hodlocker that is going to be able to lock in something, and when I look at this all of the cryptos that are here, what am I looking at? What's a sublocker? What is Hodlocker? What are you investing in? Give credibility to this and people to go over and do. They're going to put their BSV on here to what benefit? You know, why? To raise the price. See, you got to tell me what this does.
I'm going to show you. Are you ready?
I get ulcers and
scroll all the way down.
All
I want you to scroll all the way down until you see you're going to see the plus. Your interface is a little different. The plus orange. No. There's a plus orange. Here, I'll show you on my phone.
I see it. No, it's down here. I just got a
plus orange. Yeah, plus.
All right.
The orange button.
Down there.
Okay. I want you to hit that button right now.
I'm hitting that button right now.
I want you to click anonymous mode. You see the little box on the left? Anon mode. No. Up here. Up a little higher. A little higher. Higher.
The lock?
No. Anon mode. Right there.
Okay,
right there.
Okay.
Click the box. When you post anonymous, it's free. How is it free? It's community subsidized. And by it being community subsidized, it costs BSV. It costs because it is Bitcoin's original design. It scales, like you said. You know how much the transaction fee is on BSV, Ernie?
How much?
It's 1/30,000th of a penny.
What?
1/30,000th of a penny, as Bitcoin should be.
Okay, wait. All right, let's focus on that for a second.
Yes.
You're saying all transactions, all moving of value, all blockchain posts, all 1/30,000th of a penny.
1/30,000th of a penny.
Okay, when did that happen?
We've been fighting for.
It wasn't always that low. When did that happen?
No.
How did that happen?
Bitcoin scales. It's meant to scale. It's meant to become cheaper. Everything that they told you in BTC was a lie. And this is why, again, Sam Altman, Jack Dorsey, and Mark Zuckerberg are going up against Stephen Satoshi Wright in the COPA trial. And because they want to position themselves as some sort of libertarian open source activists. I don't buy it. They're the biggest technocrat tyrants on the internet. They don't want you to have this technology. So what I want you to do now, Ernie, is that I want you to type in that box above where you just click, and I want you to type a message on the blockchain forever. And you're going to introduce yourself. This is anonymous, but you're going to say, "Hi, I'm Ernie Hancock. I'm interviewing Rafael LaVerde. We're talking about Hodlocker. I want to learn more about it, Bitcoin. Teach me how to use this now. I want you to type that in right now. And we're going to publish this on the blockchain forever, for free. It's community subsidized. Again, is every post and every listing of any item for sale on chain is also 1/30,000th of a penny. You know what that means, Ernie? It means that we don't need exchanges anymore. That anyone in the world can come into the blockchain with their creativity and an internet connection and post their creativity for free and sell their creativity, whatever it may be, for Bitcoin.
And
this is the Bitcoin that they try to keep you away from, Ernie. This is the Bitcoin we've been fighting for.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put up my email.
Post it.
Well, let me get an email. I want them to send me stuff. Convince me.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Publisher at freedomsphoenix.com. Okay. Now, when I post this,
it goes on the blockchain forever.
Okay, now when you say Bitcoin ordinals, I wanted to ask you, what's an ordinal? What do I care, right? Why ordinal? What? What does ordinal mean?
It's just a word for a ordinal means like consecutive numbers, right? So it's using an approach to organizing, indexing transactions on chain based on a numerical system. Okay, so it's not that like, oh my gosh, it's not
so an ordinal is a patch, is an addition, is more code, is something.
So once you scroll all the way up, so ordinals really on BTC means that you're finally admitting that putting data on chain is valuable. What they literally, one of the reasons we had the Civil War, literally they're copying BSV. That's the only way BTC can scale now. Once you go to latest.
See, a lot of these sites and so on, when we do this, they mean a lot to you. You know, you're in there. I lock
right,
you.
Scroll down a little bit. All right, go up. I think that was it. That was your post. You passed it. Go up a little more. Yeah. Hello, I'm interviewing Rafael. There you go. Ernie, your message is on chain forever. And when Bitcoiners see this, if they think this is valuable, they will lock up their opportunity cost behind your message.
Why? How?
Why? Because if they find it important, if it's something that they find important.
So they're noding it, they're data storing it. I mean, what are you talking about? They're moving it up. I mean, what do you mean? Give me what they're actually doing.
Well, in old school Bitcoin, there is this mindset that Bitcoin is the company we all work for. So now that we, as a company, we've been striving to communicate better amongst one another so that we don't get Sybil attacked, so that I don't get socially engineered and manipulated, as you well described happened during the Civil War. Okay? So our incentives are aligned. No business in this world will outlive the Bitcoin blockchain, number one. Number two, Bitcoin is the creation of triple entry accounting, meaning that it is the one and most important organization and quote unquote company that exists now. The corporations as we know it, come from dual entry accounting. The blockchain is more efficient than any corporation. So while a corporation goes out and has their boomer corporate meeting that they have to schedule, and like maybe they have a corporate shareholder meeting once a week if they're extremely efficient, which none of them do. In Bitcoin, we have a meeting every 10 minutes. And it's a capitalist meritocracy where those who provide the most value are awarded for securing and providing value to one another. So just as Bitcoin miners are oriented in securing the network by providing value to the network, as entrepreneurs and investors in the Bitcoin network, our incentives are aligned, and we are in a race with each other to see who best serves each other. So Bitcoin is the ultimate manifestation of capitalism, and capitalism starts with empathy. When you go to a bar, they ask you, "What would you like to drink?" That's a capitalist. That's the first capitalist action. Empathy. How can I help you? How can I serve you? Bitcoin was built with that in mind. And those who serve the others best will be the one that would be most profitable. So your only way to be profitable is by serving others best. Now, as a system of communication, Hodlocker uses Bitcoin and savings, the concept of savings, as a means to communicate with other Bitcoiners. So when a Bitcoiner locks up his Bitcoin behind any message, he's signaling to the rest of the network that this is important and to pay attention to this one thing.
How much,
right here.
If I'm doing that, it's like, okay, I'm on some social media, I'm on, Facebook, X, whatever the hell, and I use this and I say, ooh, what they said, and it's like, am I tipping them? How much am I giving? Am I setting how much I'm giving? Is it, there's a penny, there's a half a penny, there's a 30th of a penny, is it $50? I mean, how am I doing? And I'm locking it up, did I transfer it, or I'm just putting it in reserve on there to be able to elevate a comment?
So locking is the new liking. Once you go back to the post you put up, I just liked it. As a Bitcoiner, I just locked one Bitcoin up for 1,000 blocks of time. So once you go to trending, go to trending now, because your post is trending now.
Oh, of course it is.
Of course it is, man.
Yeah, Rafael.
So your post is trending, Ernie. And it costs you zero to anybody, anything you guys want. So this is also the #1 place for activists to put things out in a way that will never be censored. So if you know that there's another psyop coming up, another pandemic, and you want to warn the world, you put it up on Hodlocker, anonymously and for free, on the blockchain forever.
So I do this little message thing here, and what's that? A reply to it or something?
I mean, you can reply to it. People can reply to you. Yes, correct.
All right. So
correct.
So you're locking up that Bitcoin so you can never, ever, for the rest of your life, ever use it? Or
no. I'm locking it up for a lapse of time.
My comment's worth $34,000 because I'm so important.
I'm locking it up for a lapse of time, just for like 1,000 blocks. Okay.
1,000 blocks? Well, okay. Yeah. How many blocks a minute? Are we talking a Bitcoin 10-minute block?
Yeah, 10-minute block. So it's 144 blocks a day. So you do the math. I'm locking it up for a week. I want your post to get attention for a good week. Okay? So it's going to be trending for a good week with one Bitcoin right now locked behind it. And if you scroll down, you'll see people locking up way more than one Bitcoin on some
6 posts. Bitcoin, boom.
Look, 21 Bitcoin locked behind. You'll see. You just keep scrolling down. You'll see a bunch of Bitcoin locked up behind messages.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, you got to do at least one Bitcoin get up the top. So that means you have to have, a Bitcoin to really be able to manipulate who gets liked.
You can lock up 0.001.
No, but
Bitcoin.
I mean, it looks like, if you got one Bitcoin, it's kind of the standard of somebody's got some resources that they can, push Ernie up to the top, kind of thing. But
correct. So this is a network for Bitcoiners to help each other out. So if you're a no-coiner, you can participate by putting up ideas that could help Bitcoin, but if you want to,
it counts on the support of people with what's in the reserve. Got it.
We want a better Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the business we all work for. That's the mindset here again. So we discovered this way of signaling to each other so that we're, let's say there's an attacker, right? The suits come back and they want to psyop everything that we're doing here. By all means, try to. What you're going to have to do is that you're going to have to go buy BSV and lock it up for a lapse of time. And by doing so, you're going to be removing that BSV out of circulation, driving the demand of BSV up. So by all means, try to manipulate, try to psyop this way of communicating. Because Ernie, they say Reddit is the front page of the internet. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Because how do we know the moderators are not making fake likes with bots, right? And for a long time there in crypto, we experimented with tipping instead of liking, right? We had Steemit, we had yours.org. But what happened is that I could come into a Steemit account or yours.org account, and I can have 1,000 accounts that are mine. And I could choose one of those accounts and call it my Rockstar account. And I can tip from 999 accounts that one account and make the ecosystem think that, oh my gosh, that account is so popular. Look, he's getting likes. He's getting tips from all of these other accounts. But in reality, I was just sending money to myself. So that's also a system that is not civil attack proof. The most civil attack proof system that we've been able to discover is Hodlocker. And it's captivating people so much that it's going to soon spread through all of crypto.
Okay, what it's going to do? Let me make an assumption. Sure. And I don't know how else you would do it, but what's going to happen is you're going to have people that care. Well, there's the first thing, they can care one way or the other. I love this whatever project, and Hodlocker is not just is it one thing for Hodlocker is just this one stream, or are there other like subreddits or something?
Oh no, there are a bunch of applications being built around this right now.
No. I'm not talking applications. I'm talking this particular, like it, put some reserve up against it, to put it up to the top. Where's another one like this on another issue, or is it just this?
No. Okay, so go back to the site, and you saw all of those cryptocurrencies there.
Okay, well, I'm pulled up for the audience
right now. Yeah, when you go to all, hit all. Oh, yeah, you're fine. Just go back to all.
All right.
This is not even a month old, so it's evolving as we go. Everything built here is on-chain, open source, and interoperable. There are no central planners here. The building of this is being guided by people within this network itself.
Okay, you're talking about this chart here with all the
right. So those. It's go to Monero, for example. Scroll all the way down to Monero.
Monero, XRP.
Oh, you can hit Monero. I know there's content behind Monero.
Well, I'm looking for it. I don't see it.
Oh, you
there
just
it
passed
is.
it.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, so you'll see different posts regarding Monero, and so this is a way to communicate about different cryptocurrencies. The idea of what this is turning into, it's kind of like the TMZ for crypto.
Okay, so it's not like subjects like solar panels. I mean,
But it will be. It will be. That's
okay,
something that people are demanding right now. Yes, correct.
Okay, so this
organic foods, healthy living.
Okay, so it's competition with Reddit.
Exactly, yes. But instead of liking, you're locking Bitcoin behind content for a lapse of time.
Okay, but all right, wait. Let me get you to, freaking say this better for the next interview, because damn.
Oh, thank you.
This is, what you have is you start off with credibility. What is a credible recommendation? A recommendation that you put some money, or at least lock up some account. I take my checking account and I take $100 and I put it over there and say, I'm locking up my $100 over here because I like what this guy said. It didn't transfer to him. It's not gone. It's just locked up there, in support of this particular post, because at least I put that much effort that I'm not using that. I've locked that up. And maybe even a whole Bitcoin. I like it so much it's $35,000 is not available to me for the however 5 minutes a week or how many blocks I did to do that, because I probably won't need it. And I give Ernie, a week because he's cool. All right. So you do that and you go, all right, where would you use that kind of feature? Where you want to give credibility to something. But my influence is the fact that I, 1, have crypto, 2, I put it up here and I locked it in. To be able to do that, I'll get that in a second, but by doing that, you lend credibility to something that you want in a category of a particular crypto, or as this develops in the future, a particular issue. So I have,
Correct.
big thing we're doing is occupy the land, okay? We do the occupy the land thing. Well, anybody that comments on, I can put in value, and I say, I like this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Other people, I can get outvoted. I could, you get them up there trending. There's something add value in their post of some link to something cool or a different method, a technique or whatever, as opposed to central command of Reddit. They just go in and, algorithm of what they want the trend and post of the CDC said this about that, so therefore it must be the gospel, So
Right.
there's some it democratizes, it decentralizes influence on what is influential based on the value somebody locks up for somebody's comment. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
So
this is going to take over all of crypto. I will tell you something, Ernie. Every cryptocurrency is going to have some sort of Hodlocker. Mark my words. It's already happening.
Well, I can see anything. See, if I go to X, and the way it was before, it was so screwed up and manipulated and BS. And then whatever Musk did or not, by then I'll wait and see. But the point is that the influence, they just built up bots to influence this one, and then that big built up credibility would endorse this one, and it was just a big bot fest, So how do you get past that? Well, maybe you got artificial intelligence and bots that will deposit money to have influence on it, and your rationale is going, good, be my guest. You lock up, by doing that, you're locking up these cryptocurrencies, taking them out of the free market of exchange, increasing their value. We get more rich and you can suck it, okay? So I'm like, all right, I see that. But the thing that I'm looking at is when I lock it up, who has it? How did I do that? It's
on a smart contract. It's on a smart contract, and you're locking it up to yourself. In other words, it's like a trust. You're sending it to yourself into the future.
And the part of the...
They come right back to you.
And the contract, the variable on the contract is time, or the amount of blocks that gets mined. That's
correct.
The trigger.
Yes, sir. That's right. Correct.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. So you're in other words, from here, a lot of different applications are going to come out because now we're into a future economy, future market, trust, wills. You're going to remove all the bureaucracy out of the way. I want to leave this one Bitcoin for my grandson in 40 years. Boom. On his 30th birthday, he will get it. Boom. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the genius of this, because now
that
a
little
lot
snot
of different...
better remember his freaking wallet and keep it and tattoo it on his dog's butt or something. I mean, because people lose crap all the time. You know what I got?
For sure.
All right, Rafael, this is what I got. I got BitcoinCustomerServices.com or something like that. Why? Because everybody was looking for Bitcoin customer service. There isn't one. Other than, call Rafael, help me, but it was, I could see that there, and we get hits from that all the time. We just forward it to something, but,
Hey, so forward it to cryptovigilante.io.
Of course.
Cryptovigilante.io, guys.
Of course.
Your friendly analyst.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, give me money. So the thing that, because we understood this, well, it goes to Phoenix Crypto, I think. Which is Doug Hodges that had ATMs here, and he did a lot of crypto here in the Valley. So we were racing. I go, Bitcoin customers, everybody's asked. So we went. I go, boom, I got it, I win, and I just forwarded it to his thing. But I have that because I know this is what's happening. So when I go to Hodlocker, what's the customer service there?
You ask Hodlocker. That's the genius of it. For free, anonymously. That is the customer service for Bitcoin. And it's on-chain. You can't remove it. Everything's on-chain, open source, and interoperable. You just hit the nail on the head. Hodlocker is the customer service for Bitcoin. And guess what? While we were at Nonsensus in Phoenix just this past week, I was sharing with the community that I think is the most cutting edge in all of crypto, the Dero community, which is giving you smart contracts that are proof of work, that are private by default. And I told them about Hodlocker, and these guys, their minds blew. And they, what they said? A lot of them stopped working on whatever projects they're working on, and they're going to create Derolocker. They're creating it right now as we talk. So now you're gonna have Hodlocker, which is Bitcoin SV native Bitcoin. You have Derolocker, which is private by default, and the BTC people are going to want to. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, the Lightning Network died, so they have to try to sell people something, right? So they're going to keep trying to copy us. So they already, copied us with ordinals, which are NFTs on BTC. They copied us with now virtual Turing completeness, and now they're going to try to copy us with Hodlocker. Sure, keep copying us, whatever. I don't care, because you know what, Ernie? In the early days of Bitcoin, all the venture capitalists would say, I love the blockchain technology, but I don't like the Bitcoin. And Ernie, what did all intelligent investors do? They bought Bitcoin, right? Okay, so right now, what's happening is that all of the BTC people are saying, we love the BSV technology, but we don't like BSV for whatever reason. What will all intelligent investors do? Fill in the blank, right?
They buy BSV.
So,
all right. So let's go ahead go.
So now, to me, BSV is the sun and Dero is the moon. That's literally the way I see it.
All right. So we get Dero here, and we're talking about Dero, because what you're really pushing is the features that you're talking about, the ability of smart contracts to be able to do Hodlocker. That is an example of how credibility and value is supportive of comments, of rhetoric, of support for, of, whatever. It's a ranking system for Yelp. It's like
but
mixes.
It's even more than that. It cleans up the noise of the internet. Locking cleans up the noise of the internet, Ernie. We live in a world that wants to manipulate you on the internet. Fake news, deep fake, censorship, shadow banning.
No, if they want to spend money to do that, if they see the influence of like Hodlocker, then they would have to buy crypto in order to BS you. And
lock it up, driving the price of Bitcoin up. Exactly. I want them to try. Please, by all means, George Soros, buy up as much Dero as you can, buy as much as BSV as you can, and try to psyop us by all means, because we're so dumb that we won't be able to realize what's truth and what's not. So you're going to be able to psyop us by just locking Bitcoin up. By all means, take Bitcoin and Dero out of circulation.
That's okay. I'd like to see this play out. We'll see what happens there. All right. Now, to do that, you're talking, well, you need a currency that can facilitate that or have the smart contract, okay, which is what we're looking at, Dero here. Now, Dero, the event that you had, when was it? Just this last Thursday, Friday or something,
Yeah, it just happened, yes.
You had that, and I kind of heard you had sent something. We had it. I think we put something on the site. And then when I was up at Liberty on the Rocks event this weekend, there was a woman that was, pimping, this and what you had said.
Yeah, I know who that woman. I know who she is, and yes, she was at the event. Correct.
Yeah, and she stayed in the Airbnb that we had. There was like Larkin Rose was in one, and Tim Pachoke came, and her and somebody, whatever. So there was 4 couples at this Airbnb. So I got to talk with her a little bit, and I've met her at Anarchapulco before and different things. So I recognized her. Well, she came up to go to this event of yours, and she wanted to make sure I knew about this. And I'm like, well, I'm talking to Rafael Monday, so it's all good. So there was a lot of excitement and interest, several people that, wanted to talk about it, but I didn't know anything about it. I wanted to talk to you. So now that we're on the Dero that is going to power a lot of this stuff, what's Dero worth? Why am I doing Dero? How do I get Dero? Is there Dero on some exchange wallets? Give me the Dero speech.
Yeah, Dero, again, it's a smart contract protocol that is private by default, and it's proof of work. It's available on many exchanges, including TradeOgre, no, it's not on KuCoin anymore, but it's on many exchanges. It's on the Mandala exchange. It's in Mandala exchange as well, which has liquidity from Binance. It's a cryptocurrency. It's only trading at $3 right now. It's very young, a very young network with much potential. And Ernie, the most important thing is that when I talk about crypto, I'm talking about it from the perspective of an activist. And what I see Dero being capable of now that they're going to introduce Derolocker, I think it's going to be Hodlocker, but with a special caveat, which is it's going to be private by default. And they are looking to empower communities that don't have these capabilities of smart contracts like Monero and Pirate Chain, which are also privacy cryptocurrency. So people can lock up their Pirate Chain and Monero in smart contracts to signal what is important to them on the Dero blockchain. Essentially, what Dero is and what BSV are new internets, really. So
well,
Dero
is
is
Dero a fork of something? Is it BSV?
No.
Is it its own
it's
what?
Private. It's its own fresh technology, brand new technology.
So Dero, I'm buying it mainly for what? I get privacy, I get smart contracts, I get what do I get? I'm getting it because what am I getting it?
Got privacy, smart contracts, these real decentralized autonomous organizations that can really be autonomous because they're private by default.
Okay, when you're doing fast blocks, it's 18-second block time, but how big are the blocks? How scalable is this? Am I going to be able to compete with Visa?
Tiny. Yeah, because Dero has a technology where all you need is to reference the chain tip, so you don't need to have the whole blockchain. So it's kind of like the last signature is all you need to keep going. So you don't have to. You don't have
to download the whole chain. You just get the proof of the last block.
It's optional. A lot of people do run their own nodes because it's just part of the culture, but it's not. It's not as heavy as you would think. A lot of people run the full node from a cell phone, for example.
The transaction cost of you send me a Dero, I send it back to you. We just spent how much?
It's like a fraction of a penny.
Yeah, if you're not under cheap. A penny, you're just, I'll give you a penny, but inflation. But I mean, seriously, that was the whole point, and it kept. These guys that BTC, they were developing it in such a way that the miners and the exchanges and everything, they were making all the money. They were just turning it into a bank. So I'm just like, no, because I remember doing Bitcoin transaction for nothing. I mean, fractions of a penny early on, and then it didn't take long for, they want to get some, So Dero is your new, because you're excited about a lot of things, but, let's go through the most recent thing at Anarchapulco. Your concern was that this technology was starting to come available. You could see that they were never going to do it, so you dusted the network to show their vulnerability, to bring attention to this. Was this what you were talking about, in February?
Exactly, yes. So what happened was that we know BTC can't scale. They're now finally admitting that it can't scale. So the only way that BTC could scale is by unscrewing how they screwed BTC up already, which is by re-enabling opcodes that now they're demanding, by increasing the block size, which now they're demanding, by realizing that the Lightning Network was never alive to begin with. So we started arbitraging data on chain, and this is what you're referring to, through BTC ordinals, and that opened up a can of worms. Because now you can't think of BTC as just digital lead that does nothing else than being digital lead. Like BTC has an on-chain economy, a vibrant one, where over 60% of its transactions are native on-chain transactions. Even though it's costly, even though transaction fees are expensive, entrepreneurs are still witty enough to sell you a Gucci bag, right? An expensive piece of art. So they turned BTC into a very expensive, slow digital art gallery. And that's probably the best thing that BTC will ever be. I don't think they have the time. I think they're out of time. I don't think they have the time to scale BTC because, again, there's a lot of internal politics. That a lot of money has gone into layered approaches to scaling. So they're not going to be able to pivot to scale on chain. So the two networks to really look at are BSV and Dero right now, because a lot of this, like I mentioned, a lot of this inspiration, a lot of everything that we're talking about here comes from BSV. The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone for all of crypto. Bitcoin in its original design, BSV. Also to look out is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is like a little sister, a little to Bitcoin Cash, to BSV and BTC. But on the privacy side, Dero is really is a very promising network.
So this isn't just a new cryptocurrency that allows for more scalability, some smart contracts, some other features. It's all of those combined. You want to have, so when you look at, you need a currency, a one-stop app of whatever. Elon Musk comes out and says X is going to be, the WeChat app, the whatever Chinese of everything of, which of course will include your social credit, whatever the hell, But to be able to do that, you're going to need a currency that can do that. Well, this is one. Now he keeps threatening Doge they're going to do something with Doge just because of that, because he could do some development work on it and make it whatever, And I have a bunch of Doge just out of principle, just for him, just to piss off the bad guys, and if he does something. But I'm looking at what is going to be the crypto of the future, based on a lot of the things that were promised the Liberty community back in 09-10. Before 13, when all of a sudden the venture capitalists and the Wall Streeters, got, and we're going to ETF everything. Before that,
Bitcoin in its original design, it's going to be Bitcoin in its original design, which is really embracing everything that Satoshi gave us, all of the opcodes that these banksters took away, embracing Bitcoin's computational power, embracing things like Boost Proof of Work and Hodlocker that I showed you today. That's on the light side of things, right? Because I think the world needs an honesty chain, needs a book that can never be burned, needs an eternal library of Alexandria to keep the assholes that want power accountable. We need a public honesty, transparent blockchain, a global truth ledger. I think that's what Satoshi gave us in Bitcoin, and that's what people are discovering right now. Now, on the flip side, for the individual, for your privacy, your personal life, not your public life, your personal life, you need privacy by default. And for that, you have a Dero, a pirate chain, which is zero knowledge proofs by default on the protocol level, or a smart contract protocol that allows you to do all the cool things you see on BSV and that Ethereum has always wanted to do, but you're doing it private by default, and that is Dero. So so let's divide in two, right? So I have both of them here, right? You have honesty machine, privacy machine. The whole world of crypto can be divided into two, and you have to personalize it in your own personal life as to how you want it, you need. If you live in a very non-tyrannical place on the planet and you don't have such a security profile, you're okay with just a Bitcoin, right? But if you live in a 1930s Bolsheviks Russia situation, you might want a Monero. You might not want to be part of a transparent,
or 2023 America. This
exactly.
There's two terms. There's privacy, which is important and so on, but nobody talks about publicity. That's why we embraced IPFS. When we put that up, it's not going anywhere. You can't delete it. You can't edit it. You can't censor it. That is one of the aspects of this kind of opportunity that I am interested in. The privacy is pretty easy. I just shut up and go do my own thing and don't tell him whatever. But what I'm really looking for, I see as the problem, is the censorship, this First Amendment violation stuff. So
100% agree with you.
So
I 100% agree with you.
Publicity. I need it permanently out there for. Well, you got to lock up, half a Bitcoin or something to do it.
No, you don't have to do that, Ernie. Okay. You just did it by yourself for free, anonymously. Anybody can go to Hodlocker and post whatever whistleblower thing you want.
Somebody's putting up reserve
for free.
Well, I got it for free.
It's
Rafael
cost
had to
1/30,000th of a
spend.
penny. 1/30,000th of a penny. With $5, I subsidize hundreds of thousands of posts. If you guys want to go on Hodlocker and just post bullshit, I can afford that on my own. By all means, post as much crap as you want on chain. I dare you to.
But
because
it's
by
way
the 100,
down on the bottom.
I don't care. But if people find anything that you post valuable, they will lock up some Bitcoin behind it to get attention. And that's all I care about.
I think
we can afford that.
The technology is, I can see it coming, because if we had that, well, there were other things that, you got Steam. I remember when Steam, came out, you give them Steam, and you do this, you do that.
Yeah, but that could be Sybil attack. Again, I showed you the example of me owning 1,000 Steam accounts, and I choose one account, and I just sent tips from 999 accounts to one account.
No, I understand. You explained that well, but my thing is that this incentivizing with money has been tried, and there's incentives, and you're just creating a different way of doing it without having.
But we're not tipping.
No, I understand.
Tipping. We're just giving up our opportunity cost. That's it.
I understand. It's just you're putting reserves of what you have locked away to bolster this one comment, because it has at least that much value to you to even make the freaking effort. Okay, so this is, clicking it or whatever, you get I guess it says how much are you putting towards it. Yeah, a whole Bitcoin. Ooh, I want. Oh man, that's a good one. So this, I get that. Dero allows for a lot of this stuff, but the biggest thing is the smart contract self-execution of time. It's like you're willing it to your kids. You're, engage this at a certain time of escrow of a property if I bought something on Amazon. So I get it. It's going to be time will tell. What is your opposition? Who is against this? What is the headwind that you're up against, Rafael?
The entire world of marketing. This is as revolutionary as Bitcoin was to finance and banking, as now we're using Bitcoin to fight against fake news, to fight against censorship, to fight against AI deep fakes. This is the way, guys. And it's so contagious. This is the most contagious thing on the internet right now. And it's so contagious that I'm telling you, every single person in crypto that you tell about Hodlocker, they immediately want to create it for their own blockchain. We told the Bitcoin magazine CEO, David Bailey, about it, and right away he's tweeting about it on his Twitter. I can send you links to that, where he wants to have a version of Hodlocker for Bitcoin magazine. I went to Nonsenses, to the Dero community, and right away the top Dero developers stopped what they were doing, everything that they're doing, and they're creating Derolocker for you guys that desire more privacy. Ernie, why don't you go back to your post, man? Go back to the post that you made, and I see that you got 2 responses while we were talking, and now there's 2.01 Bitcoin locked behind your message. So let's go back up to your message. Go to trending. Go back to trending, and we're gonna read the answers that people. Again, it cost Ernie nothing, zero. It's community subsidized. It cost us 1/30,000th of a penny. Go back up to trending. 1/30,000th of a penny.
Well, I am.
For Ernie to post on chain forever.
I thought I was on trend. What did I do wrong? All right, we'll go back.
There you go. Just hit. All right, go to trending again.
I hit trending.
Yeah.
Go.
Ernie's on those Linux machines. I know it.
Hey, man.
Go to trending. Go to trending.
I did.
Okay. All right, go down. Scroll down.
Yeah, it won't scroll. Well, I just got the 3. Matt, you need to give me more money, man.
No, you gotta go down. Scroll down. I'm looking at it on my computer. You're trending.
Okay, well, I'm trying. See, it just goes to there. It doesn't. That's all it does.
I don't think you've. I don't think you're. Go to latest. Go to latest.
Latest.
Yeah, you're still on the. Oh, okay. Go. I know what it is. Go right there where it says XMR. is that you're still in the XMR sublocker. There you go. And
Okay.
hit all. All.
Oh.
There you go. Now go to trending. There you go. Yeah, we were on the Monero sublocker within Hodlocker. That's what happened. Okay, then scroll down. There you go. Now click right there. That's yours. Go down. Right there. Click where it says the little bubble. It says 0.01. That's you. Right there. Click right there. All right. We're going to read the answers to what you wrote. These are Bitcoiners.
This is what I did. I go, hello, I'm interviewing Rafael LaVerde on the value of Hodlocker. Convince me, guys, that you agree and why. And I put my email. Adding a signal to content via opportunity cost is a valuable time saver. Combine network effects from using a scalable fixed supply, token money, and cooperative incentives, and you have a very powerful system for ranking information. Then another one, instead of paying for a token, you can just lock up some Bitcoin for a period and get it that way. You can get tokens for your costly signal and then get nearly 100% of your Bitcoin back later. BSV is the place for this, and tiny and almost negligible fees. So they're just repeating what you're saying, is that the value of a comment is the value that somebody would lock up, for a period of time, their crypto in support of, which is as opposed to what? I mean, this is, a 30th of a penny, that, there's
30,000th of a penny.
30,000th of a penny that you're, donating, or you're subsidizing for someone to be able to do it anonymously and free. But when somebody locks up I got 2 Bitcoin, 2.01 Bitcoin, because they love my comment, so we put it up there because it's got, Rafael LaVerde in there. Right? I go in and I put that up there. They're giving that credibility and value and moving it up like a subscribe, like a follow, like a Reddit boost, like a Steam it, like a something. And it's a different way of doing it, but it adds credibility to whatever that is. In the past, it has been a like. It's been a tick. It's been a something, and those have been done by bots. It was, when they did the Twitter files, you found all of these publications, all these celebrities, all of it was a machine that was a bot that was pushing these publications and these individuals up that was not real. This makes it real. You want
exactly.
Yep. You want to see it to be
makes it real. Exactly.
Well, I'm very interested to see how this goes when you have real. There have been attempts before. That's what Steam was all about, all these different things. But you have created a mechanism by which you can reserve money that you have. Now, is that from your Dero? Is that from your Bitcoin? Is that from an exchange? What is the mechanism by which you buy BSV or something that's on there for you to even do that? Like, to have a Bitcoin, that you put up there means you have a Bitcoin that you put up there. So how much is, Rafael worth? Well, at least a Bitcoin. I know he's got one, So this is, and if you're willing to do that, you probably got 2 Bitcoin, so you're worth at least $60-something thousand. So this is still going to be influenced by people that, 1, willing to do it, and 2, have the resources to do it. So you get to be very influential, and I get pushed up because Rafael loves me. But, if you don't love me, you better be really good at whatever the hell it is that you put up so that people would push it to the top, be a trending Reddit post. So I can see that this is going to be certainly the influence of people in the community. As time goes on and people start to see the value of the elimination of noise from just crap that's out there, this is when you're talking about the elimination of fake news, because people are going to put up value to things that are true, but then there might be the bots or the AI or the government or the bank or somebody that would infiltrate. Yeah, I'll sling put in reserve all I want to post this. Then it's up to us in that noise to determine, well, this guy's full of crap or that account doesn't mean anything. Do you have filters to do that, to take those out?
Yeah, the cool thing is that this is being curated exactly by the people that care for that network. So how do you know they care for that network? They own the cryptocurrency within that network, meaning that their incentives are aligned with what's best for the network, meaning that they're putting their money where their mouth is, meaning that a no-coiner, someone who is a fake person, someone that's pretending to care for the network, cannot come in and try to influence the network like they have done when the suits came into Bitcoin, and you very well described that scenario that led to the Bitcoin Civil War. Now, if you want to influence Bitcoiners and Bitcoin opinions, you must be a coiner. You must be a Bitcoiner, and you must lock up your Bitcoin behind content that you find interesting or important for other Bitcoiners to know. So this is the anti-PSYOP technology. This is the anti-AI manipulation technology as well.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead just to, show what's up. I'm going to go, here's the link to the interview. And I'm going to go full MP3 and 4 will be posted by, let's say, give me a couple hours, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6
Nice.
p.m. Eastern. Or earlier, All right. So I go, said, boom. Now, did that go? Oh, it's going now. Okay. So put that up. Now, that might get, an extra because people want to know to get the link or something, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm going to give it a like because I like you and I like the message you just put out. So, holy shit. You got a bunch of messages. Why don't you
scroll down, yeah. And he said, Ernie has the best vibes, such a cool dude, blah, blah, blah. The locking of Bitcoin allows collaboration in humanity is equal opportunity. All can join. Equal participation is available through collaboration of all humanity. The value of all future creativity. The rich will not get richer. Over time, every Bitcoin holder trends towards zero. I'm not sure what they mean. Over time, every Bitcoin holder trends towards zero. What is he saying there?
Ask him. What do you mean? Anonymous. I think.
Oh my God! I gotta get another social media back. I don't got time. But
No, you don't. It's for free and anonymous. So you can just ask. Hey, what do you mean by people? Ask them right now.
All right. Well, where's the ask? The little arrow thing.
Yeah, just go ahead and ask that person. Yeah.
Well, ask what? I mean, I got to push what button, Matt?
Yeah, just do it again and say, hey, what do you mean by? Just say, hey, I read in the comments someone saying that every Bitcoin, trends to zero. What does that mean? What does that phrase mean?
Okay.
Please, someone explain it to me.
Yeah, somebody explain it to me.
Someone explain it to me.
Explain it. Explain it, damn it. I need it explained. This is one thing. I'm an older, guy. I'm 62, but I understood the principle behind the promise of crypto. What do
we kept Bitcoin alive.
Mean
guys like me kept Bitcoin alive. Like we were shunned, laughed at, and now, we just kept going, Ernie. We kept going. We kept fighting for the fullness of Bitcoin, and now you're just seeing the tip of the iceberg of what Bitcoin's the fullness of Bitcoin's original design is. We're just at the tip. 1/30,000th of a penny again. So much is costing.
Okay, see, this is the thing. I knew it was going to go up in value, and everybody was like, freaking hundreds of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin kind of thing. And when it hit 60,000, I'm like, damn, man, they might be right. So this is when we used it. Our use of it was to support the network. We would buy. I got a gazillion $30,000 hoodies in my closet. I mean, that kind of thing. But so I would use it. It was easier to use than it was to spend than it was to get. You know, that's what I was telling like Edge Wallet, going to Paul Play. I'm saying, look, man, you need to have a feature whenever I spend it, it buys it back automatically through my bank account plus 10% of more of something. It's easy for me to buy. I mean, to spend, I need automatic buy-in or something. You guys do that, I'm all over it. But the
Right.
that's not very private that way, but you know, that kind of service. The thing is that we spent it and used it and promoted it and accepted it and bought stuff with it to support its use, because that's where it came. I knew that we were going to have to use it to make it of value. You pay your graphic artist in, you know, crypto. You support different activities in crypto. You have disasters like Hurricane Otis Recovery.com. Well, the crypto, boom, immediately. I remember there was storms in the Philippines. I remember we had all kinds of earthquakes. Crypto was immediate, fast, boom, done. So now that it's become popular and now they, them, those want to retain their value, what happens? You know, what do we do then? Now we have to where it's already got its own value. It's not going away anymore. Well, what Rafael was doing and what I was doing, a lot of us were doing, we were promoting this very act of people's money. Without third party, you have to seek a permission slip, or it's your money, you just can't have it now, kind of thing. So this is why we participated in it and did it when I could have just kept it. You know, I do have, you know, a couple, but the point is that I've gone through hundreds of Bitcoin and I ain't got it anymore, okay, to support this. Now, you know, what I kept is worth probably more than what I had would have been had we not had that attitude to build the ecosystem. So what Dero is doing, and this, is taking that ecosystem and bringing back the promise. They promised me a bunch of stuff that BTC is not doing intentionally, okay?
Exactly.
It was by
correct.
design. Once you see that, you're going, screw them, man. Well, what's the next one? All of a sudden, Doge is not, you know, such a joke anymore in comparison to the intentional joke BTC is. You see my point?
Exactly.
It's what's the credibility? 100%. What is it that they're going to do with it? So do I trust the developers that got captured by, you know, hell, I don't remember the names of Bitcoin Central or us people, you know, that they do that? Or do I trust the decentralizing efforts of Elon Musk? You know, is that my choice? Elon Musk or the central bankers? Well, which one's a little bit more? Yeah, I'll buy some crap 6-cent Dogecoin all day long. That's my option. But then you need to have something that actually works in the world, that you could do a lot of these features that Dero has. And Hodlocker is one of those to demonstrate that you can, because I remember, what was it? Trive, you know, truth, using blockchain to discover truth with this kind of thing. They wanted to be was it Matt White was really big on this. I remember the guy that was developing it, he and his wife recorded the first marriage on the blockchain at Orlando, a Bitcoin conference that was done. And when they did that, they proved that you could use the blockchain for a whole bunch of stuff, including on-chain recording your marriage.
Nice.
So this is I understand. It's been, you know, got over a decade or more. That's been, what are we into, 20 years? No, it's like 15 years or something of 09. What is this? We're about 15 years into this. You knew you had to have at least 10 years because that gives you your 10,000 hours of expertise on things like blockchain. You needed people to develop the skills to start doing with Dero what we needed to have done from the beginning. When that happens, then what happens? Blockchain was just the beginning. The currency, the value exchange, was just the beginning. It was just a demonstration of what's possible. Then you go, where is the development being done that is possible? Well, the diversion from all that was possible was done by these venture capital guys. That they had their tie up, but they still got their $1,400 suit on as they're walking around squeezing these young developers in the bicep, going, "Ooh, you must lift, and you're so smart." And then they promise them money, or they do. Now you're definitely hip to this. They would do. What are those contests that you have a bunch of guys come in and they...
Oh, hackathons.
Hackathon. They'd have hackathons out the butt, and they would go, "Ooh, we're going to pay $100,000 to the team of whatever." They give them $100,000 in some crypto credit of whatever, then buy their idea that they just demonstrated. Then they would fund it. They get more developers. Whether those particular developers ever became part of or made the bank or not wasn't even the point. It was they needed these coders to come up with cool ideas that these investors, these bit angels, would then invest in and develop for the future. But a lot of those were trying to shoehorn the legacy banking system into digital currencies and create a central bank digital currency or some type of, or some Wall Street function, or Gemini guys or Zuckerberg or something. The people that wanted to get the real promise of decentralized money, of a ledger, of ownership of different products, of the ability to communicate privately, publicly, and to be able to incentivize truth. Now, I remember Tribe was a big thing, that was what they were trying to do. They were trying to create some kind of value input from the people to demonstrate what was and was not most credible. You have created something like that. I have seen this development, and every now and then I check in with these guys to see what's up. When we have fake news avoided or in competition with people supported what's really supported, and I'll tell you where you see it happen. When you have crowdsource funding for an indie movie, for a project, for a protest, for Canadian truckers, when you have millions of dollars of people, hundreds of thousands goes to HurricaneOtisRecovery.com. When you go to these things and people give money, people make use of the anonymity, or it goes directly to them, and there's not some third, but give, send, go, doesn't freeze your account and you're not allowed. And anybody that donated gets a visit from the federal policia of Canada. I'm like, what the crap? This is what this kind of stuff avoids, and why the man is so freaked out about it. The competition for what is credible, not because you slap CDC or a WHO label on it. Nobody gives a crap. Dr. Fauci said, definitely not taking it then. So you have this competition of credibility where people are actually using their crypto just to put in reserve to emphasize they're not losing it. They're just making some effort to give value to what somebody says. Well, where have you seen that before? All the social medias. It's likes, subscribes, X push, Reddit bump, whatever the hell it is. Now we have ones that can't be gamed. And if it is gamed, it benefits those that are invested in the cryptocurrency system. You want to come try and game us? Go ahead. We'll just increase our value and we can do what we want. So I understand we're at the beginning of this. Rafael gets excited about these kinds of things because he sees the value as time goes on. And you invest in it, you make some money in it, you get, some benefit from it, and mostly the benefit goes to all of us. Because the goal is what? Decentralized living. Freedom, right?
That's right. So for everyone listening, a lot of activists listen to you, Ernie. Guys, this is the new WikiLeaks, and it's going to spread across all of crypto. So get acquainted with Hodlocker, because there you can post, when you post anonymously, you post for free. It's, again, community subsidized very easily because it costs 1/30,000th of a penny per transaction. So by all means, post whatever you want on chain, as much as you want. Bitcoiners take care of you. And stay tuned because there will be a private by default version of it. Now, Hodlocker is private enough, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, because again, you can just go through a Tor browser and go into hodlocker.com and post anonymously for free. You can do that. But you can also, when Hodlocker, when Derolocker comes out, it's going to be even more private. But right now, what we do have functioning and working is Hodlocker. And like I said, BTC is working on their own version. We don't know when it's going to come out. And I think it has to do because the guy that wants to put it out is the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine. And he is kind of in bed with venture capital, unfortunately. So he's going to have to check in with his shareholders to see if this is something that they even want to do. On top of that, well, you have the Dero community now very excited in creating a version of Hodlocker that is private by default for the privacy coin community. So it is my honor and my pleasure to bring this technology to your audience, Ernie. And I thank you very much for having me. And I'm here to talk about crypto whenever you want.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and, we'll keep on it. We have you on every year or two, just keep us up to speed on what's up. But it's going to happen really fast. A lot of people, they don't understand, oh, when, or you promised, you said you're going to whatever. And I'm going, it won't happen all at once. I mean, you'll see it. You'll see projects like this. You're on the horizon. The sun's going to, rise over there. It's lighter on that side of the sky. It's starting. I'm seeing the artillery shells going off over that hill. I mean, you'll know it's coming. I see the storm clouds. It's sunny over here, but I see what's coming. And then all of a sudden you wake up on Monday, boom, it's there and shells are going off around you. Okay? This is coming. It's just, it won't happen all at once, but it will happen overnight. All of a sudden, you'll wake up in the morning, boom, what the heck just happened? All of a sudden, silver shot up a couple of dollars, gold broke 2,000, and Bitcoin went from 27,000 to 35 in a couple of days. What the crap? Well, there's a bunch of those coming, and you need to be prepared philosophically. If you go at this from a principled philosophical standpoint, these are just details that fill up that need. Why we focus on IPFS, why we focus on things like, Monero, Dero, R, and, that kind of thing. Why we look at, different things the way that we do, because they fulfill a need for freedom, not for some big bank centralized government and national interest crap. How about the national interest in America was the freedom of the people? How about that? Okay. This is what we were talking about. We're focusing on, now we're going to go get on the land, but you still have to have communication. The communication of what? Communication of prices, communication of availability of things in the market. I want, I need, I got. This is so fundamental to what the future is going to be. If we don't have things like this, then what do we got? What we got? The banking system. Well, how's that working out for us? It's not. And it's going to grind us under the jackboot heel of the state here directly. So we'll keep you guys up to speed on things that are going around like Rafael LaVerde has shared with us. Thank you, Rafael.
So will you guys pay attention to a message from CNN? Or will you guys pay attention to a message from Bitcoiners that have locked up their opportunity costs of their own personal Bitcoin behind a message that they want to get to you?
Credibility. That's where the future is. What do you believe, who, and why?
I'm telling you something,
I'm with you, man.
Danny. This is gonna dawn on you even more as days go by. This idea is very strong. This technology is very powerful. This Hodlocker technology is very powerful. Okay, and the gravity of this is gonna consume you, because you're gonna realize, like, holy shit. What you're gonna realize, Ernie, is that you're gonna be like, fuck, those guys realized, sorry for the cuss word, those guys figured out how to signal to each other amidst the noise of AI, deepfakes, fake news, censorship, and shadow banning. We're cleaning up the internet with crypto, guys, using technologies. We're using the lockup technology is what we're calling it, hodlocker.com. So by all means, go explore it. Ask Bitcoiners what it is about. Enjoy it. and have Donna bring me whenever you want me back, and we can talk about this even more. Because like I told you guys, this space, this on-chain space, moves in 1 month, moves as fast as the legacy crypto space. And you know that the legacy crypto space, 1 month of development in the legacy crypto space moves as fast as a whole year in the traditional market.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that point, and we'll wrap it up here in a second. But I just want to make sure people understand. I have always felt that I was, a decade, ahead of everything. What I started in the late 80s, like a decade later, Dion. My pronouns are I told you so, okay? So this has been a revelation over a period of time. By the end of the 90s, it got down to like 5 years. Then it gets down to like 3. Now it's getting down to like a year. So the thing is when we see these things happening and developing, you'll see examples of the solution like this that Rafael's been talking about with us. But when it becomes mainstream, when it becomes viral, when it explodes, a lot of times may not be that first one to market. That one is the one, it might be around or stick around, or it just goes viral and becomes the Amazon of or something. But usually they're constantly under attack, and then those want to do a version of it so that they control. When it truly is held to its nature of being decentralized, of it being truth, of it being, that we would support it, it takes a little bit more time or another development, or then all of a sudden, boom, it hits. Well, that boom it hits is no longer 3 years anymore. It's like a year, 18 months. It just
not even.
It just
you know what
boom.
We're saying? Oh, it's a week. Nowadays, the way we are thinking in this on-chain economy already is if this application, if this protocol, whatever we're building right now, if it does not go viral within a week, move on to the next. Move on to the next. And so what we're doing in Hodlocker now is that we're communicating in the most efficient way, and we're coordinating with one another in a way we've never seen before.
So it doesn't get lost in the noise.
Exactly. Because it's so easy back in the day for them, and lizards to come in and obfuscate, confuse what we're talking about. And now it's like, if you have the Bitcoin, we listen to you. What do you have to say? We're going to analyze what you have to say.
What's your source?
Exactly. Now we listen to each other. Ernie, right now, last time I checked, there are at least 11 to 12 full-time developers working on applications that are being born out of the communication of Hodlocker. On top of that, we're at Nonsensus, and all of a sudden, some of the top Dero developers, privacy-oriented developers, are putting Derolocker, the Dero implementation of Hodlocker, as the forefront of everything that they're going to build moving forward, because they see the value of honest communication, honest signaling.
This is important that you focused on these attributes. People that have the technical ability to do code or run coding teams and developers and so on, their main goal a lot of times is money. I mean, hey, we can make money doing this, but I don't mind. You can make crap tons of money, don't care. But not enslaving me.
Exactly.
That's where you're freeing me. How about that? I vote that. Can you do that? Well, it's hard. Exactly. I don't care. Don't sit there and BS me and try and get me and my audience to go into the next cage. I'm not. And that's what I felt Lightning was. It was pushed. A lot of guys, they were pushing Lightning on me. It was so butt-ass simple for a principled, libertarian, look for the truth kind of guy that knows the right questions to see that they were building banks. I'm
100%.
Man, right off the bat, I'm going, you lying, saying all you pushing this, or you don't know what the heck you're talking about, or you're incentivized, somebody's paying you to say it. Because this is just shoehorning the banks into crypto. And they're going to do the same thing, and it's going to be called central bank digital currency. Okay, so I understand. We'll keep in touch. I just wanted the audience to understand the reason that I see this as important. It gives us a window, a view into what's possible, what's being done, why, how, and for what end purpose, if it's not for the freeing of humanity, then why are you wasting my time? I'm not here to make you money, you know? I'm here to keep on.
The thing is, Ernie, the main thing to remember is that the PSYOP begins when venture capital comes in. When the lizards come in and they offer developers money, developers get PSYOPed into taking venture capital money, and now their hands are tied. Now their focus is no longer to think of Bitcoin as the company they work for. Remember I explained triple entry accounting. Now they're thinking about the VCs and the shareholders as the people that they need to kiss up to.
And their non-disclosure agreement that they can't go, and once they see the light and they want to go somewhere else, they can't.
And it's so nefarious.
Which is probably a lot of the reason why they got them.
And it's so nefarious because the venture capitalists, you know what they do to these people that they fund? They tell them that their startups cannot hold Bitcoin as reserves. Why would they? The startup itself is a hedge against the Bitcoin that the venture capitalist has themselves. So that's their hedge against the Bitcoin for. If something happens to Bitcoin, they funded a company that can easily pivot to something else into fintech. And so right away, the moment that these guys take venture capital money, they cease to care for Bitcoin. Their incentives completely become anti-Bitcoin. And that's what happened to them. That's a lot of times what happened to them.
I've seen a bunch of these. They come up with great ideas to do this stuff, and then they get a bunch of money, and they go on vacation, and then they're just doing coke off hookers' bellies for the rest of their life with the support of the venture capitalists that gave them the money. They just like, peace out, go, man. We don't want you working on it. But we bought into you to stop you from what you were doing and to do what we want you to do because you had the capability to do it, and we can divert with money and interest over to here. That I've seen over and over.
So here we stop this forever. How do we stop this forever? By aligning incentives, by bringing back to the forefront that the business we all work for is Bitcoin itself. And by us working for Bitcoin itself, our primary objective is to drive the value of Bitcoin up. So how do we do that? We create a system that is Sybil attack, manipulative proof, like Hodlocker, where we use our Bitcoin to communicate with each other. And by communicating with each other, we can coordinate and align our incentives best to know what to build and spend our energy building next. And by doing that, we increase the value by serving each other. We increase the value of Bitcoin, the network. And anybody who wants to attack our communications will have to literally buy Bitcoin and drive the price up, right? Again, we're talking about Bitcoin SV, BSV, Bitcoin in its original design, the forbidden coin, the Antarctica of crypto that you can't talk about, the most delisted crypto platform on the planet, the one that Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, and Jack Dorsey, plus 32 other big tech giants are going after in the COPA trial. Have you heard of the COPA trial?
No,
Ernie Hancock.
Maybe I have. What are you talking about?
COPA trial. So the COPA trial, the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, is a bunch of lizard big tech tyrants pretending to be libertarian open source developing enthusiasts. I don't believe them. I don't buy it. I'm not on Zuckerberg team. I'm on Satoshi team. I'm on Bitcoin in his original design team. And right now they're suing Craig Stephen Wright, who holds the patents, who I think is Satoshi Nakamoto, by the way, who was the first person to say that Bitcoin was Turing complete in 2015. And all of the big tech giants are teaming up against him. Why does he, if he's fake Toshi, if they say he's a fake Toshi, they say he's a scammer. How is he scamming people when everything he's talked about is just to preserve Bitcoin's original design? And I judge him and I judge BSV by the nature of the network, and it's the most cost-efficient version of Bitcoin. It is the only version of Bitcoin that allows me to do smart contracts and has over 5 years of experience experimenting with the computational power of Bitcoin. And it's the most energy efficient Bitcoin network on the planet. Bitcoin's original design in the form of BSV allows me to interact like I showed you, and you did it for free on chain, subsidizing the whole planet of creatives, of people to come in and use the blockchain with their creativity for free to get paid for in crypto. And now These guys are teaming up against Craig Wright. You should do a special on this. You should bring specialists from both sides of the camp. It's going to be kind of nasty because you're going to be hanging out with the same people that were overtaken by MasterCard and Bilderberg, the same people you called out, the people that pushed the Lightning Network. Guess what? We're seeing behind the emperor, and the emperor was all along Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, and Jack Dorsey. Those are the people that Bitcoiners like me are up against now. People that do not want you guys to embrace Bitcoin's computational power. People that are pretending to be libertarian, pushing for free and open source software when all along they're the biggest tyrants on the internet. So we don't buy their shit. We don't buy their crap. We know they're not people to be trusted. And we, through our work, are showing the world what Bitcoin is truly capable of. And so we created this system in Hodlocker where we can communicate with one another in a way where we can't have outsiders come in and influence us anymore. We took back Bitcoin, and we're gonna keep going. And Ernie, I have another surprise for you. You ready?
Can't wait.
Go to hodlnet.sh.
All right.
Hodlnet.sh.
Hodlnet.sh.
Yep.
What's SH?
So, I don't know. SH. Hodlnet.sh. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Google killer. This is Google Ernie Hancock. Like on Hodlnet, type in, this is the search engine of Bitcoin that indexes everything that has been locked in Bitcoin history. That's Ernie Hancock. He just Hodlnet, Ernie Hancock. He just search. This is the search engine for Hodlocker.
So is this a hash or a physical server address for the data? What is it?
No, it's looking straight into the blockchain. It's pulling all the information straight from the blockchain. So yes, it is a hash.
Okay, so
all of the information. This is why big tech is so scared of Bitcoin. Big tech is scared of Bitcoin because Bitcoin in its original design puts them out of business. In Bitcoin's original design, we don't need Google anymore. I just showed you the Google killer. In Bitcoin's original design, the back end of your business are the miners themselves.
Okay, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, I do this, and I was searching Hodlocker, right?
Sure.
I mean, I'm searching Hodlocker. I go in, there it is, finds it. Then I get a transaction. All right, explain this transaction. Okay,
so here you're seeing Bitcoin in its fullness, right? So you're seeing things that you don't see in a normal block explorer of BTC, because that version of Bitcoin has been severely crippled in order for them to introduce their banking 2.0 apparatus that we know of as the failure of the Lightning Network. So if you just search around, you'll see that you'll see different aptitudes, different capabilities of Bitcoin, like the ability to compute script on chain. So there you're seeing a window into the Bitcoin blockchain. You can go up and you can see if you go up to the BMAP, the tokenized protocol, JSON files, the script files, you see everything. Bitcoin in its original design, everything that Satoshi gave us, ready for you to explore. And a lot of people are barely discovering this right now, are barely starting to understand what this is.
You know, one thing that I remember, we got to wrap this up, but one thing that I remember when they first started doing Bitcoin, they had a memo field, and they were talking about colored coins they wanted to do and identify, as membership, all kinds of crap.
It's there. It's alive. We kept it alive.
See, that's what I was thinking. Is I'm going, when you have these characters that you can put different things in, these scripts and so on, there's all kinds of information that Bitcoin originally was allowed to do that they didn't develop. They didn't. I'm going, why not? I could send penny text to people using the blockchain.
Because it puts Google, Facebook, and Twitter out of business. That's why.
Yeah, when they didn't do that, I'm going, Why? What do you mean you can't do that? I remember in the first Bitcoin transactions, you had a memo field of bigger than Twitter, 100 and whatever characters at the time. So I didn't understand why there was an intent not to. There's somebody stopping
it competes. Yeah, because it competes directly with big tech. It puts big tech out of business. That's why, Ernie. Because now you no longer need Amazon servers. You no longer need Google infrastructure. You have the Bitcoin blockchain itself, which is a capitalist meritocracy of value, where you go into the blockchain and you simply interact with the blockchain directly. And the miners are incentivized to protect your data, because now the data belongs to you. It doesn't belong to the big tech giants. The miners wrap your data around with Bitcoin energy and protect it. So yes, that's why, Ernie.
All right.
They didn't want you to have this technology.
We got a little bit of an understanding of what's coming, what's been. Now you go to cryptovigilante.io, and Rafael's encouraging you guys to listen to the Bitcoin Turing Completeness 101 thing, so you understand all this geekness these guys keep talking about. But hopefully from this conversation, you got out of the whole thing is that you're looking at the ability to communicate, to maintain publicity and privacy, and to incentivize and elevate comments and communication that's supported by the people it's intended for to begin with. This,
correct.
Instead of they, them, those come in and manipulate us, and the credibility is none with them, but they have the ability to force their message to the top, and we're starting to take it back. And then be able, you interface on agorist markets, on being able to do black market Fridays of the people kind of thing. This is a lot of stuff that we've been amplifying, advocating, pirateswithoutborders.com, writing our letters of Captain Mark on about all this. We have discussed, had on the show a lot to let you know that it's needed and little inklings of it coming. And now Rafael's presented, it's here. So
it's here. It's here.
So FYI.
Go on Hodlocker.com and you will be Sybil attack proof right onto the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, whatever you want. Community subsidized, 1/30,000th of a penny. This is the new WikiLeaks, the new information center of the internet, and it's being developed open source, on-chain, interoperable. If you think you can do better, grab the code. It's on-chain, open source, interoperable. Grab it and create something better. By all means, do it.
Okay, so you can't delete anything that's on the chain there. It's always available. No. So when you do your search thing that you did for me here, I go searching, I go searching for it. It's always going to be able to find it once it went up there forever and always. Amen.
Yes, correct.
When I do it anonymously, how anonymous? Am I WikiLeaks anonymous?
Well, I mean that now it depends on how you interface with the internet from your computer, right? Like, are you behind a VPN? Are you behind an I2P? Are you behind Tor? That's up to you now. You can be as anonymous as you want to be. But the creation from any browser, the creation of the UTXO, where you write that message in to send it onto the blockchain, that's anonymous. It's not attached to any wallet. A little wallet is created out of nowhere, anonymously, and it just goes into the blockchain.
So no connection. So as long as they're not tapped directly into my feed and I VPN toward of whatever, correct. That computer did it. So this is kind of a WikiLeaks thing. Now, one thing when you have Wikipedia and they put up crap and then change crap of more crap of crap, are you going to be able to have like Wikipedia pages, or would you just?
That's being worked on right now. There are implementations of Hodlocker, of locking, that are going to be like Wikipedia. There's one called Frosty.app, FROSTI.app, which is going to be a universal. Go to it right now. Show the audience. Frosty.app. It hasn't even launched. I'm just showing you guys a preview of it. Frosty.app is like Slack. It's like a Slack interface. Frosty.app. And there it is. Yeah, let's go. Let's see. It hasn't launched yet. It's There are many other applications being built around the concept of locking. You can see the interface right now. It's shaping, right? You see the shape. It's looking like it's like a interface like Slack.
Well,
There will
see,
be.
my thing with Wikipedia, it was very useful and benefit early on because we used a wiki app for how we did our shows on Terran networks. When I was on radio stations here in the Valley, I would have a wiki open of, had who the guest was and some links and all that kind of stuff. But I left it open for the audience to add stuff to it. I just trusted them. Other talk show hosts freaked out. Oh my God, you're letting your audience do it? I go, yeah, because, they're probably no more than me. I didn't care. I let it out and did that. Other talk show hosts were amazed that I even did that and how effective it was as just seeding it with the guest and who they were and the link to the MP3 and all that kind of stuff, because that's how it was before we built Freedom's Phoenix version. But it was open to anybody to put stuff into it. And they did. They would add stuff, correct things, do it. And I don't remember ever having any problems. Then after a while, once I left that and I wasn't interfacing with it regularly, then I locked it, so they couldn't go back and change it later. But when it was live, I left it open. Well, it was so good, and then Wiki was a software that was used for community collaboration, kind of like your GitHub or some crap like that back in the day. And so the guys, the computer scientists and libertarians that were supporting me back in '03 that set this up used that because they were familiar with it. Then you get into Wikipedia, which is kind of the same thing, except now they, them, those get in. It's, 15 gazillion guys change it and they change it to what they want to change it to, change it, and it's a central plan of what they want. So Wikipedia is freaking almost useless now if you want to you really want to find out something about somebody. But if you had this version of it, if you were able to do it with incentivized people I like this, you can change it all you want. But
and you can lock things up behind it to index it. Yes, you can lock up Bitcoin behind it to index it.
So that has value because it's got value behind it, supporting this is what we want to say about, well, at least somebody putting money behind it. It's not just, a woke kid out of college have told what to do or some crap, and then they decide what is and is not there. We decide what is and is not there.
Okay. How about you right now? Go on Hodlocker.
Okay.
Go to right live. Let's do it right now. Go on hodlocker.com, and I want you to post this idea. Say, I'm Ernie Hancock. I'm talking to Raf, and I would like to do this. I think this is a good idea. Is this something you guys want to do? And maybe one of your listeners is probably listening to this conversation right now, Ernie, and they notice that I said that this is all technology that's on-chain, open source, and interoperable. And they right now, as we're talking, are building out.
No, I know what to say. Where do I go to say it? All, top, latest, what?
No. Just on the little make sure you're in all, and on the little
okay, I just need to know
the orange plus sign.
Okay, I gotta be
orange
in,
plus sign.
Be in all here. I go down the orange plus sign. Well, yeah, I gotta do that there for you. Okay, so I go anon. Okay, here we go. This is Ernest Hancock, publisher at freedomsphoenix.com, interviewing Rafael LaVerde. Did I spell it right? Oop. Okay. My question and desire is that if there is a development of a Wikipedia killer, I am very interested in a truth wiki that isn't compromised with they, them, those fake info. All right, let me make that one word. Fake info. If you have such a project, I wish to interview and promote. Boom. All right, good enough.
Boom, post it on chain forever.
Now, hopefully what will happen with that is that there will be somebody, oh, hey, I got it, or that's a good idea, or I want to do it, or I was thinking of doing it, and I got somewhere to promote it doing it, and let's do it. You know, I would be shocked if there wasn't one. Trive. Yeah, Trive was Truth Hive. That's what it stood for, the Truth Hive. That was the point, that there would be a hive of people working to create truth. This is what I see this as. And if I got, the guy that he often listens to the show, so he might be listening to this and going, yeah. So he might jump all over your crap and, want to promote that very thing, because he had resources and time that he put towards this a great deal. So I'm going, okay. So maybe that would be a thing. And let's see.
All right. There's 1.21 Bitcoin locked behind your message right now, Ernie. Let's see what they answer.
Now I'm going to keep posting. We're going to find out how rich Rafael is, man.
This is BSV, guys. BSV is like $40, $50 a coin.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so relax. Take it easy. This is
So,
BSV.
so
Bitcoin's its original design. The enemy of big time.
All right. So I know it's early on. How many people interface with this?
Ernie, this is just growing. This is growing. I mean, last time I checked, it was like around 500 or more on a regular basis. Like, this thing is just going viral.
Yeah,
right now.
but 500 equals, you go through how many hundreds of thousands of people do you go through to find people that know anything at your level about Bitcoin that would be here? So when you go 500 people here, you're talking to 500 that took you a few million to get to.
Sure. I mean, this is why, it's a network that is growing, obviously.
All right, let's wrap it up. This is really good information to have, to make. By the time I promised them to get the show up, I got to get on it. Everybody's going to be yelling at me. So we're going to go ahead and get that up. I am very interested in this is one, because all right, this is what I do. You go to declare your independence, and I got to do it in the full size here so you guys can see what's up. And let's see what we got here. Okay, when I go into the right side of it, well, yeah, you don't have it over there, but I go into on the right side of Freedom's Phoenix when it's in the full thing like this. Let me pull this down over here. Crap. To get the full frame. But on the top right of freedomsphoenix.com, when you go in there, I have a search thing. I am searching Freedom's Phoenix with its 600,000 plus articles, way more than I am like Wikipedia or anything, because I don't believe them. I don't trust them. They're lying sacks of snot. So I need to have a mechanism by which you can have a search of data and information that is useful to me. And if you have this place where people can do that, it'll take time, but so did Wikipedia. When we had staff that were trying to do Freedom's Phoenix or me, and this was right in '09, right after the Levolution. They would not allow anything that had association with Freedom's Phoenix. If it had a Freedom's Phoenix link in it, you couldn't put it on Wikipedia. And I'm like, what the crap was that about? So I just blew them off. The reason is because they targeted it. We're not having anything from there on Wikipedia. Why? Well, because of the Levolution and so we knew it was compromised. Then, we started having Facebook problems. Then we started getting YouTube dings on, rejoining music or whatever that. So we just stopped. We said we first got to develop on IPFS to where you can't stop the signal, So when we do these shows, like when you go into a show, this video I do every other week with James Corbett, that's IPFS. They can't stop that. We embed that into here. I need a wiki, that an information hub, that is just us, that we put stuff up. And if this Hodlocker can be that, and you have pages of that, of information on anything that people put up, and then you can search it. Oh my God! You have a wiki.
That.
Well, let's wait on you now. Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's happening.
Well, I'm trying to explain to the developers and you and the audience that this mechanism that can compete with those kinds of things is what they're afraid of.
Exactly. That's why they wanted to keep this aspect of Bitcoin away from people. This is why we had a civil war. And this is why people, renegades like me, just kept going with it. And now we're here. And we're not ever going to stop. So everything that we develop is on-chain, open source, and interoperable. So that anybody in the planet can build on top of the Legos that we've already built. So if anybody wants to build out a better interface, they can do that. If they have a better idea of how to take all of these components and make something better, go for it. Again, our philosophy is that Bitcoin is a company that we work for. No company that we have will ever outlive the blockchain. And this is happening. And the most beautiful thing that is happening is that now the Dero community, the most private smart contract protocol that is proof of work in the world, they're embracing this whole locking idea, and they're going to have a native Derolocker that they're building right now. I look forward to coming back on your show once Derolocker is fully built. They told me it should be ready in a couple of weeks, if much. So I'm really excited to show that to you.
Yeah, no, I'm just checking here. I saw that somebody's saying Doge moved from blah, blah, blah over, and I go look, went up 10%. Oh, make me some money now. It's going to be decentralization. It's going to be this kind of technology. It's going to be people like Rafael. And I just want to make sure that you guys aren't caught unaware. So now, if you don't know now, it's not because I didn't tell you, okay? This is, Rafael, LaVerde, and I have explained it as best we could. Went kind of long-winded, but we got into the weeds a little bit on this, a little bit of history, what's happening now, the potential, the future, who the opposition is, how you can support it, how you can benefit from it, and how it works. So you're welcome. But, don't be thinking I'm going to babysit you through this kind of stuff. We've been very, people that came on when we were talking about this back in '09 and promoting it and doing and interfacing and we've had Bitcoin summits, here in Phoenix. We've done all kinds of stuff. I remember when Mycelium was giving out dollar paper wallets that we strung around and just put on the tables for people to see how it can work. And then they just left a bunch of them. Donna took and put them into a shoebox or a little container. Davi Barker was in. We're looking for bumper sticker. He goes, "Hey, are these good?" And I go, "Wow, Donna scraped those up and put them in." They were worth a couple of $1,000, and they were like nothing, And I went, "Wow, this stuff goes, it kicks at different times, and it's just now starting to do it again with a lot of understanding of what really was our opposition and in our way." and they were in sheep's clothing. They were lion sacks of snot. So you need to get back to the principle and demonstrate that it can be done, which is what they, them, those have been trying to prevent. And Rafael's on the edge of it, showing us, demonstrating it. There's a bunch of these projects. We try and keep you guys up to speed. Rafael, we got to end it one of these days. Thanks for coming on and explaining it to us, because we need it.
My pleasure. If you want babysitting, come to cryptovigilante.io, dollarvigilante.com. Thank you so much for having us, Ernie. Really appreciate it.
You do that really good. We might have to have Bitcoin customer services go there or something. You know?
Yeah, that's where we are pretty much.
Yeah, pay me, give me something. You know, whatever. You know, we'll work on it. Well, thanks for informing us and pumping this up. I'm going to stop right now, get this in, get going on it, because we need to get that in, you know, to help people get learnified. Peace.
Now we are dealing with a possible world war. Some will say we are already in a world war. My condolences and prayers go out to everyone suffering under tyranny. It really sucks. I'm really sorry. But it seems as if people are starting to wake up regarding crypto more and more each day. And so it's in the description right here to read, where we give our secret sauce and what we teach our subscribers, because things are just that bad. You know, everyone needs this information. People need to know about sound cryptocurrencies that are actually private by default, and to know how to properly use crypto.